Boom. How was everyone's Christmas?
It was great.
That's
It was
excitement right there, Nick.
great.
Look at you coming in strong after being sick for 3 weeks.
Look at you.
We're still sick.
We're
I
happy
am
to have
too.
you.
I'm still sick.
I'm there a little
And
bit.
just
but it's
recovering,
good.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Went around. Everyone's got it.
Everybody.
yeah.
The whole.
Everywhere I went,
All this weather
someone
change.
was sick.
Were you guys sick? Leave a comment.
Oh,
us
100%
know.
everybody was.
Let us know who was sick.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And what you got? Cold, flu,
What?
Chorrito. I don't know.
chorrito. Dang.
Hey, all that food you never
Hey,
know.
pozole, algo estaba mal.
You never know.
Los tamales, they
Somebody
were
got the-
undercooked,
Los
dude.
tamales, sí, los
Somebody
tamales.
had the squirts out there. We know that.
La masa,
Yeah.
no estaba
El
bien.
pozole.
Y'all remember that
Pozole
last year
con un
though?
chelito.
How the masa went bad and
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
had to return the
The
tamales.
Dang.
tamales. We're not gonna mention the
Yeah.
store, but come on.
That
that's
was like
shady.
the worst Christmas for a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That line was long.
It
long.
was.
It was long.
I wasn't
Dude.
here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You were
Mm.
halfway around the world traveling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, in your mind.
I mean, I was
Wait,
across
you're
the
what?
United States.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been
Oh.
there.
Hence the
Yeah.
hat, y'all.
There
Hence
we
the
go.
hat.
Gotta wear the hat.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Let people know
That's right.
where you from.
I'm not from there.
Where you.
He's not from there.
You're-
He's not from there
But
though.
you're repping it.
I mean, I support
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Boston's
Supports.
teams
Yeah, he supports.
Why?
the same way you support your soccer teams.
I don't support any soccer teams.
So
That's a
Boston-
shame. That's a damn shame.
Yeah.
I'll leave
Boston
it-
has the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the Celtics.
The Celtics.
I know something.
The Patriots.
Nah.
They're pretty good. The Patriots are
Right?
good.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
you
What's
go.
his name?
Yeah, I have to say they're.
I don't
they're
know.
What's
pretty
his
good.
name?
They
No,
have a
the
good
the
team.
the Smalls. You're
What?
kidding me,
Smalls.
Smalls. Or you're killing me,
Smalls.
Smalls. What's his
killing
name?
me,
His
Smalls.
name.
Sandlot
Oh.
from the movie. But what's his name though? Not the
I don't know.
actor's name. I want to know the name inside of the
know.
movie.
I don't know.
Anyways, that's who you look like with that hat on though.
Sandlot
Yeah, the movie.
The movie.
with the kids
Yes.
that play baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude. come on
Benny
now.
the
There we
Jet
go.
Rodriguez.
Yeah.
there you go.
Dang, Benny.
They're so cute.
I had such a
Yes,
huge crush on him when
yes.
I was little.
For real. For real.
Okay.
For real.
Everyone did?
And the little rascal.
Yeah.
Even me.
Every girl, dude. He was
The
every
little
girl's
rascals.
I
dream.
got $1. I got $1. I got $1.
Hey, 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 hey.
That's all I know.
No. You what? That's all you know?
I didn't have a
I
childhood.
got a pickle. I
She's a-
got a pickle.
I got a pick.
Oh, we're gonna edit that out, guys. Come on now.
Yeah,
PG-13.
don't laugh at that.
PG-13.
Don't laugh at
Come
that.
on.
Yeah.
Dang.
I have a pickle. Nah, just kidding.
Look at you. Nobody's gonna believe that, bro. Come
Hey, I
on.
got $1.
Yeah.
No one's gonna believe that either. I mean, with that jacket,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
Damn.
You see? Starting.
Mm-mm.
So, everyone's Christmas was good though.
It was good. It was
It was a
good.
good
It was
Christmas,
good. Real
yeah.
good, man.
You got that
we
jacket?
we did lots of games, which was fun.
Do you guys? I got a question. Do you guys celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve?
Both.
Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Both. We celebrate Christmas Eve with family and Christmas Day with our church family.
Okay.
It's a new thing.
What did you guys used to do?
Nothing.
Just get drunk.
No.
No Christmas?
No,
mean-
nothing on Christmas Day. Like
Nothing.
Christmas Day,
everything was
we would
Christmas
just
Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Be hungover.
He
from
would
Christmas
the kids
Eve.
even open their presents like Christmas Eve night.
Midnight.
Yeah, midnight. And then Christmas Day was just like, everybody
That was
hang
it.
out. Mhm,
Oh wow.
mhm.
Yeah.
There was no dinner, no nothing.
There was
just-
no running down the stairs.
no
running
like,
to the
oh, your
Christmas
presents are
tree.
there. No,
Nope.
Wow.
No.
None of that, bro.
I'm sorry.
So
That's
my
all right.
Why are
my
you
son
sorry?
does
Why
you
get that.
Yeah.
Why are
He'll
you
come down the
sorry?
stairs and
Your son gets that though now,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
We're breaking chains, bro.
Yeah.
That ain't no chain you have to break. My
No,
kids
there
are
were-
not gonna run down
No,
for
there was-
Christmas Day.
there
They're
was
gonna
times
open up
that-
their presents like every Latina family does or Latino family does.
there
Well,
was
that's not
Open
true
up.
because they're Hispanic and they just said they want to have Emmett run down the stairs.
Yeah, as I said. But I said it's not like a
I'm-
chain to break. You don't have to.
What do you mean? That was the change for me though.
No. I'm talking about the custom of having them run down the stairs, and not the whole celebrating Christmas Day because of I know where you're going this. Where you're going with this, right?
I don't know. Let's see
You're
where
talking.
where are you going?
Where
what's
are
your-
you going?
What's your point? Because you threw me off. Let me see. I'm gonna get you right now. What's going on? I think the medication is getting to you, but
You know what?
I don't think she's
wonder.
taking her medication.
Woo! All right.
I didn't even laugh at that. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
because
I'm
it
not
just
gonna
ain't
go
funny.
there.
He's just
Yeah,
on a whole
yeah,
new one,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Thinking.
it's okay, Nick. It's okay.
Were you
It's
gonna call me
okay.
Raquel?
No,
Oh,
No.
no.
But they
No.
should call you Raquel. Maybe a little wannabe Raquel, but I mean that's you
Ooh.
know.
Okay.
Anyways,
No.
there's only one
So-
Raquel, right, Nick?
My mom started doing that as we got older, and she would be like, "Oh, leave your shoes here," so she could separate like the gifts and stuff. So she would let us open
Aw.
one the 24th, and then the 25th she would put our shoes, and then we would be able to go. But that started like when we were a little bit older. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
but you don't support anything. Like,
What?
I mean,
What does that mean?
I
That is a
mean-
blanket statement right there, Nick.
I mean, you want to celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve,
Yeah, I like
yeah.
it.
but if someone wants to celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day,
No, I
that's
said
breaking a chain.
because of the term breaking a chain.
But
I
what?
told him it's not a
Okay.
chain to be broken,
Oh,
but I said in his story, from his background, from what I know of him.
Which we'll get into
and
today.
you know what? How about we just get into that for the viewers? You guys don't know what I'm talking about, but look, after he says his story, maybe you understand where the breaking the chain will come in play.
And maybe that's where all of our confusion will come in. Like, wow, like better, like you shouldn't be breaking that chain. You know, it's not like he's ever had so many Christmases before. You
right.
Christmases were sad.
I know, right? It's like
Mm.
it's so amazing that you guys want to do something for Emmett for the Christmas that you guys didn't have, and then
Yeah, definitely, man.
But then to some people, that's like, no, you need to keep that.
Yeah.
That's not what I
tradition of,
meant.
Like, no happy Christmas. My kids will not be running downstairs. They will walk in line, no smiling. They'll be thankful they have a stocking, right?
Be thankful they have stairs.
Right?
Well, we all know what you got in your stocking, coal. right.
Classic.
Oh man.
Oh my god, your laugh was funny. It made me cry a little bit.
It's tears of joy.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Happiness.
Oh,
That's
man.
what Christmas is supposed to bring
Oh.
about.
Joy.
Happiness,
Happiness.
breaking
Happiness.
chains,
Yeah.
being around family, celebrating,
Mhm.
running down with excitement.
Yep.
Some people celebrate that, some people don't. Some people celebrate the non-celebration of celebration. Think about that.
Oh, please, people, please do not listen to anything Nick says when he tries to put a play on words. Oh, please.
man.
So let's get into it. So
Let's get into it.
let's get
man.
into it.
10
Yeah.
minutes in. 10 minutes
Do
in.
us a favor.
Let's get-
So you said that Christmas, you guys didn't really. I know we were joking about it. Like I was taking it seriously, and some people were joking. But when you were saying like, "Oh, breaking a chain," what is that like? What does that mean to you guys? Like, how did you guys typically celebrate your Christmas? Or
Well,
do you remember it?
yeah, growing up or just when we first got married?
Both. Did it change?
It changed now. For this last couple of years, it's changed. I think 6 years ago, once we start getting to church, that's where things started changing. But growing up it was the same thing year after year in my family. I don't know in hers, but year after year would go to somebody's, the tia's house, the aunt's house, or whoever was hosting, and
Is that Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Christmas
Christmas
Eve,
Eve.
the 24th. So everybody
Make
would
some
be.
tamales.
Yeah, I didn't. Again, I said this last podcast. I didn't know Christmas was about baby Jesus. I just thought it was Santa Claus and gifts. So that's what I thought.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a Santa Claus comment.
No, so we would go to
Good job, Nick.
my
Good
tia's
job.
house, and
Mm.
the adults would get super wasted. I'm sure they were doing God knows what, and the kids would be by themselves throughout the whole thing. And then the 25th, which it was Christmas, all the adults will be hungover, and they'll just continue to get drunk after, throughout the day till.
Is that normal?
I
It
mean,
is.
at least in my family it was, and my mom's side of the family, that's who I kind of grew up. I'm sorry to put you guys on the spot, but that's how it was, man. Not that I didn't enjoy it,
That was normal for
that
you.
was normal. So I would show up and they'd be dancing, they would be drinking for the adults and for the kiddos, just play by themselves. And um, at the end of the day, it was fun then, but not looking at it now. Looking at it from where I'm at now,
It's
it's
amazing now.
it's different. That's where the breaking chains comes
Mm.
from. Where I don't want to do that for my son. Our Christmases, it's been like 2-3 years now since right we're doing contests now with we want
We do
to
some games and we
incorporate
include everybody.
everybody, not just the adults. We want to get the kids involved, so every
Yeah.
family member from gets to have fun.
Yeah.
So that's where breaking change comes
And you
from.
guys remember like what you guys did the day before when you wake up? Like you're not hungover,
No.
Yeah,
blacked out.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from my childhood.
Yeah, mine was pretty much the same too. So we would go and we would make some tamales at his tia's house or whatever you're doing. And then you would open some presents, how late you would stay up. And then the next morning it was just like everybody's eating breakfast or dinner. And then everybody would go home. That's it.
And then nothing on Christmas Day?
Just our immediate family by themselves. So
Oh wow.
mhm.
And then when you guys met,
When we
the same?
So when we first met, I mean,
Well, you
the-
guys met when you were like 5.
Yeah.
yeah, we met when she was 5, I was 9. So
Yeah, but she knew what she
That's
wanted.
right.
yeah,
I mean, well,
So
I
the,
can't really
Five.
say anything for him because he was 9. That's kind of weird. Be like, dang, dude, you go for the younger woman. Like,
yeah.
The
I, no,
5-year-old?
I didn't.
Yeah.
though.
The 5
I didn't. I
and he
didn't.
didn't
though.
like me.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Because-
I mean, I wonder why you were 5.
Yeah, but he had a younger sister.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, that's my sister's friend.
Mm.
Yeah, she was like, okay, cool.
But
Like,
you were also 5.
yeah, that's the big,
That's
the big,
the big-
the big
Yeah,
thing.
that's the big
Yeah,
thing.
so for the people that don't know our story, we met when I used to perform with my dad as clowns, and we would make we would do private parties, not really- private shows too. Sounds kind of weird.
Kevin was more into the private shows.
Kevin was more into the private
Evelina.
shows. We'll go into his story in the next podcast. So we would do private events, family parties, picnics, company shows. So her family hired my dad and myself to go perform at her cousin's birthday
Yeah.
party.
So how we met is because my uncle was working in what is it called?
Los Callejones.
Los Callejones.
The alley.
He was
Back in
working in
LA.
the alley. He was working for little girl dresses. Like he was selling at a store little girl dresses, and his mom and his dad actually worked there too. They were like selling some other stuff, and they had happened to come across my uncle's store. They started talking with my uncle, and my uncle started selling the dresses to her directly. And I don't know how the story came up because I never really asked my uncle. But from there, he had hired them to do a show for my cousin. And that was the first time we met him at that show.
Wow, at age 5.
Mhm.
She was age 5. I
Mhm.
was.
Crazy.
Well,
Mhm.
I think you were 4 then, because this was before your birthday. Was
Oh,
it your
wow.
birthday? Was your birthday 5 and Danny's first,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Danny's her.
But Danny's and my birthday, it was within that time, and that when my mom first saw them, she hired them for my birthday parties.
And that's where
so
we-
they came for my birthday.
That's where our families met. Well, at least.
So you would see her like once a year.
Well, yeah, once a year.
That time,
At that time.
But then it started being more occasional because our family started like
Hang
really
out.
connecting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they befriended each other, and
Yeah.
her mom used to do our costumes for the clowns.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, because my mom was really good
Mm.
at sewing. She can
No
make
wonder
you a
you're
costume.
good.
Yeah, my mom, our Halloweens, we never had to buy a costume because she would always make it.
Wow.
Yeah. So my dad found
Yeah.
this out, and he's like, "Dude, we got a hookup, where
Yeah. And
she's
my
really
mom
good.
hired her friend. She had a whole little company back
Oh,
there,
wow.
like
Wow.
a little sweatshop.
Shout out. Hey, so gonna be watching. I don't know. I didn't know you were rolling that deep. You know what I mean?
And so my dad also owned a body shop. So he would bring his car,
Yeah. So like whenever our cars broke down or we got into a little accident, her dad would be our mechanic and fix our car. So we became good friends.
Yeah.
Well, our families, not
Yeah.
me and her.
So no, yeah, not us. Yeah, he wouldn't talk to me like that. Like he wouldn't talk to me at all.
She was
You
younger.
know? Yeah.
I
So when I
respect it.
first seen him and
You
he
know?
did his show, I was like, I'm gonna marry that right there.
That was at age 5.
I told
Like
my
that?
grandma. I told my grandma.
five.
I remember. I
That's
told my grandma.
crazy.
I told my grandma in Spanish. I was like, "Me voy a casar con él," and she's like, "Estás
Dang.
loca."
I know.
I didn't
I was
believe
like,
it.
"Watch, you guys watch."
Dang,
yeah.
5
I thought
years
it was crazy.
She
old.
was 5. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like up to this day, like I believe it now because I've asked.
Yeah.
But when she told me, it was like, yeah, I told my grandma and I told my family, and I was like, sure, whatever. And then I started asking them, and they're like, yeah, she did. I was like, dude,
We
that's crazy.
had a little back house where that's where my mom would sew and stuff. So my room, the back window of my room led directly to that back house. So when I knew he was coming over, I was like right there in my window.
So you were always spying on him?
Creep.
Have you guys seen that new show at
That's
Yeah.
creepy.
Netflix?
Yeah.
You? That's Norma.
I was like looking
At 5.
It's creepy.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. And he would come over because his cars would get messed up. And then he'll come and like
Yeah,
get in the house. My mom would
later on the years,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so what I want to know was
Hang on. So,
Oh.
is this like your cage or like your box?
What I mean? What do you
Like
mean by that?
to show you? Like, are you
Oh,
are you okay?
yeah. I was like, we're like
I was like
3 minutes
wait,
after
what?
that. I was like, what are you talking about?
no.
Because I was just thinking, I was just like, you know what? Like, maybe.
Maybe he needs help.
Yeah, like I'm like starting to think, like just playing everything out. I'm like, okay, like, dang, like he only goes out like twice a day, like
Yeah, just for food
just for food.
and sometimes to go to the restroom.
Yeah, I mean, she did play this out.
Yeah, no.
I did. I planned it out completely.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
And then they started hanging out more and more. We started getting invited to like their birthday parties, our birthday parties, and it was kind of back and forth. I remember this one time we got invited to his sister's birthday party. And for some reason, I had developed all this relationship already in my head.
Aw.
I'm telling
Hey,
you because I
hey,
truly
you
believed
let her
it.
on. You let her on. You sent
Right.
some mixed signals, all
Yeah.
right? With your funny face. And, your smile all the
It's like-
time. It's all painted on.
Girl,
It's all
God.
painted on.
And he came out of his room with one of my friends, and I was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, I felt betrayed.
We
Dang,
never
Eder.
did anything.
Hang on, what?
Never.
You did her dirty. You did
Never.
her dirty.
I never did anything with her.
No, they were like really cool
Dang.
friends,
She was
but
my
I
best
didn't know
friend
that.
at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
didn't
break
know
up with
that.
him in your head?
No.
Oh.
I forgave
What?
him.
Oh my no, hombre, esta Norma, dude.
Yeah.
And then so then for my 15, I asked his parents if they could be my padrinos for my 15.
Godfather,
And
godparents.
yeah, godparents. And I said if they can do a show, because this is what I thought of. I was like, he ain't gonna show up if I don't tell him to do a show. So I
Would
got
you
the
have showed up?
show.
Dang.
Well,
I don't think he would have came.
Were you on drugs then?
I was probably yeah.
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 Already at the
I,
age 15?
I started at 14.
Dang, dude, I gotta hear more about this, but hold on. I wanna know. What I wanna know is this. You never once regretted your decision of like 5 years old, you being like, girl, you gonna marry him after everything he put you through, Norma?
No.
Dang.
I didn't
Dude,
put her
talk
through
about-
anything.
talk
about Jesus in you, man.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wait, before this, I never put her through anything.
No.
No, but in my
But-
mind, you did.
Okay, no. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you know how people are like, what would you tell your 5-year-old self?
Oh, okay.
So I'm asking her right now, being, I don't know how age, but I'm going to
30?
ask.
30.
All right.
30.
Oh yeah, 30.
Yeah.
Way to pay
Okay,
attention to your
sorry.
friends.
Wow.
Jeez,
Yeah.
calm
How did you
down.
forget?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Crazy.
What a friend.
so now being 30, you would not tell your 5-year-old self like, girl, you don't even know what you want. He's a clown, not only in the in the suit, but in other different ways he soon will be. So like you wouldn't tell yourself like, no lo hagas.
What are you trying to do here?
No, because
Dang.
I
I'm showing him how much she loves him.
I think he knows that.
Hey, You don't gotta show me. I already know. Why do you think I'm still here?
No,
Come
but
on.
I mean,
Hey Norma, are you sure you really love him? Like they're still together. Like
Right?
she's sitting here right
Right?
now.
Are you
Norma's
sure?
like, you know
it's a
what?
legit
As
question,
a matter
right?
of fact, I'm done.
No.
I-
Okay,
if you put
that
it in
is
those-
not.
if you put it in those
They're
terms,
putting
you know
words in
what?
your mouth. They're
Come
putting
on.
words in your mouth.
They are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. what you
Every
Thank
girl,
you. Thank
every
you.
girl, every girl is totally thinking this. Like, why
Not
would you
Norma.
put up with so much? So you want to ask because you know what? The first time I heard Norma say like talking about everything that she went through with like the meth and the everything
Not
else.
Norma. Norma didn't go through meth.
No, I know, but
Oh.
Well,
no, she went
technically-
through it. Yeah,
Yeah.
with him.
I mean,
I always tell him, I was like, we both got clean together, even though I wasn't using drugs. But every time you're dealing with somebody that has drugs, it's like you're on the drug too,
Yeah.
because you're kind of crazy like they are too.
That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
I'm so
She's my
sorry.
wife. I have to agree with her.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna go in detail, and you're gonna know how crazy I was. So,
But I just wanted to. That's what I was asking because so many people would say like, "Nah, I wouldn't do it again."
I
You know what I
would.
mean?
And it's
I
funny
would.
because all
Wow.
this
I would do
was
it exactly the same way.
all this was before we got together. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, but you also have to think like if you play that, like, would you ever do it again? Like, then none of this exists. Like, if you
Exactly.
play that alternate universe, like, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
None of this exists. We don't even know if he's still alive.
Yeah.
You know, like, who
Yeah.
knows where
And
Norma
that's
is?
why. And that's
Like,
why
You
I would
change
think
one little thing,
it can
Yeah,
mess
of
up
course.
everything else.
everything
It does.
else.
I
Mhm.
think all the movies talk about
That's
that.
real life,
Yeah,
though.
it's
Anyways.
true.
It's true.
Yeah, but you can't go back
true.
in time, so it's not real life.
Then,
Well,
like,
thank
why
God.
But I'm saying,
then why think about it?
the,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was messing with you, Rebecca.
Y'all
Crazy
think on a
people.
new one today, though.
You know what was worse
It's because
though?
you're sick. That's why.
I know.
Our moms actually would talk like a lot, and they would knew all his craziness. So I knew everything.
It's funny because my
I knew
mother-in-law
everything.
That is
knew
so
everything. Like
weird.
look, my mother-in-law.
She chose
She's
you.
an amazing person. She knew everything I ever did,
Mm-hmm.
and when I would still show up to visit Norma, she would welcome me with open arms.
She would still be nice to him.
Serve me dinner. She would hook me up. Like she'd never once ever like
Got it.
Once a mijo, always a
Yeah,
mijo,
dude,
dude.
like,
Talk
she
about
was-
prodigal son.
Yeah, she never
His
said
Latina
no.
you know what? Not even Latina mom, just moms in general.
Dude,
Prodigal son or
yeah.
not, they just be like, dude, come over. Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it also has to do with their relationship wasn't built on like a romantic relationship to begin with. It was a friendship. Like their
Yeah.
Not
families were
Norma's
friends. No, I'm
mind.
saying, but her moms, right?
Yeah.
It was they
Norma's
cared
all
about
like, I do.
they cared about Eder more from like they were
Oh,
friends. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they
I
like,
see
they
what
looked
you're
at you like a
saying.
son.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because
essentially.
we
Yeah.
have people at church. Well, Israel and Janet, you know, like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like we see, you know, Bubba and Elle and like do their like, and they play with Emmett all the time, and
Mhm.
and we love the kiddos, you know. So if you're that's
Yeah.
I got you. I got
Like
you.
I'm sure if you
Yeah.
Emmett's close friend who was here all the time was going through you guys would care for it. Like you would treat
Yeah.
him as you would treat your own son. Like,
Yeah, I get you now.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't know he was doing drugs.
No, I mean, that's it's. But when afterwards,
Afterwards.
once
Yeah,
when-
yeah,
when
yeah,
it-
yeah.
when everything, when everything
I
happened.
get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So yeah, I mean, it's insane. So talking
so
about
then quinceañera,
Quinceañera.
and you started using
F14. So I was
F14.
already using, but
Damn,
I was
He was
using
such a punk. When he came to the quinceañera, he's like, "Oh, you look so beautiful," and I was like, "Ah!" On the
I
inside.
mean, she looked really nice, but that's something, you know.
No, but he
you
just said it just to say it.
You
He
have
didn't
to
really
say, you know, they
Yeah.
hired you to say it, so you
Oh,
have to say
that.
it.
You were dressed
oh
up?
my
You were
goodness,
a clown?
no.
He was
I had
dressed up
to.
as a
It was
clown.
Like, oh,
Oh, so he was just saying that to say that, and you
yeah,
took it as like
yeah, like I do.
but I didn't know that.
Make
what-
signals up.
Okay,
in
wait,
here.
hold
I
on.
mean-
What about on your wedding day? Did he say the same thing?
No,
they didn't. What do you mean the wedding
He
day?
didn't say that.
You
He
guys
said-
didn't have a. You guys got
we got married civil.
civil, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that was our wedding day. We
Yeah,
haven't
but
had
he
our
still didn't-
church
he-
wedding,
I mean, you
which
can
is
still
gonna
say
happen.
it. You don't have to wear a wedding dress for someone to be like, "You look so beautiful."
do.
Yeah.
He
I tell-
did.
I,
He
I
did.
don't, I don't
I
have
do?
to wait till our wedding. I
He-
tell her every day.
He does. And
Uh,
he, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Defend
Rebecca.
yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raquel. I think we're gonna just.
I think-
I think
No, I'm gonna
I
tell
mean,
you-
if
Raquel
the
needs to take her
drugs
meds.
didn't like kill you, I think Raquel's trying to just bury you right now. Like,
She's
dang.
stabbing
you're gonna see what happened on the wedding day. It's so funny.
Dang.
When we got married, Sybil, that was so
Woo.
funny. But anyways, let
What?
me keep
Yeah.
Alright.
So
It's funny.
15.
You'll see. You'll
No,
see.
it's
I'll
funny.
tell
It's
you
funny.
right now.
So it's 15. I was 18, 19.
Oh wow, so you
18, 19. Yeah.
But at the time, what?
I totally messed it up. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
when you were 15, he
Mhm.
was already 19.
Mhm.
Yeah,
he was
he was
already an
already
adult.
So you were already using for like 4 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she was trying to say. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and we didn't know that. We knew that he was like going with different women and stuff like that, and that's what we knew.
I mean, he
Like-
was 18, 19. You know what I'm saying?
Well, at the time, when he was already living with someone.
No, at that time. No. Not at that time.
Dang.
Not at.
Why is that a big deal?
Not at.
What do you
not at
mean?
19.
At 19, what's wrong with living with somebody?
No.
No. That was. But it wasn't.
Because you
Yeah.
moved from mama to another mama or what?
Right, Kevin?
No.
No, I wasn't. Not at that time. Afterwards, later on. Yeah, I was. It doesn't matter. That story
That's
does
right.
not
That's
matter.
right.
honestly.
Doesn't
That's
matter
another
anymore.
time.
No, not even.
So
That
s-
story does not matter,
Mhm.
honestly.
So you're 15.
Yes.
So essentially, so you never even, hang on. So when you were 14, you were 9.
No.
No.
Yes.
When he was 14, you were 9.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when he started using, you never noticed anything.
Well, I never knew. I never really knew. Like he wasn't that open with that to tell his
So
family
no
or
one
anything.
could tell you were on drugs better?
No. Nobody. No, at that time, nobody can tell.
Because the
Only-
thing he
only-
would go off and on.
I would try it on for like soccer off season when we weren't playing soccer, and then I would get clean to play soccer. So I could
So that
Nice.
was like the beginning. Like you weren't like, I guess, fiending for it
Not at that time. What? I was in middle school, so that's when I
Funny.
first started.
How did you?
Where'd you start? What? Oh, how?
Isn't
yeah.
that crazy?
When?
I
So
know,
this-
it's so crazy.
This guy, we knew. He was
What
my
grade were
friend
you
at
in? Middle school, 6th, 7th,
6th grade.
6th grade.
6th grade.
No.
Yeah.
What?
So-
My 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, keep going.
That's the
Tell me.
6th grader.
It's sad,
I'm
huh?
so
I know.
devastated.
I
Yeah, so
know.
that's where they first offered it to me. As it was a friend of the crew that we used to kick it with, and he's like, "Hey, you guys want some of this?" And I initially thought it was cocaine, and I thought it was buying coke, and he
Well, why would you be buying coke at 6th grade?
just because I thought it was cool.
Like you weren't doing anything before that.
Nothing.
You were just like, you know what? I'm gonna
Noth-
get some coke today.
And he brought it up. Everybody around me was doing it. And I was like, "Hey,
Dang.
it's like,
I'm gonna do it too.
Hey. I gotta do it." All the homies were doing it, so I cannot be the only one not doing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go, did it. And he would sell us, per line. I laugh now because he would sell each per line. It would be like $2 per line. And then if if you want it, a little more for $5, you get like 5 or something. It would be discount.
Oh my
So
God.
it's funny now, but it's crazy at being a 6th grader.
Just think about
Yeah,
that.
and
How
doing
where
They're
you guys were at
kids.
in
That's
6th grade.
kids.
And once I first did it, now I take it back. It wasn't cocaine. It was meth. Man,
But
it was crystal meth.
have
Yeah.
you ever done cocaine?
Yes.
So you knew the difference?
Not
Yeah,
before
that's what I
that.
said.
not
So
Not
your
before
no,
first
that.
no,
time
no.
was you thought you were
Straight.
doing coke and you
Yeah.
never knew that.
I
You didn't know,
never knew
you
until
didn't know
later
what the
on.
difference between was.
Until later on, yeah.
So you were just like, whoa.
Oh yeah. Like I took
Damn.
the first time I took one line, and I remember on PE, I was like, I had my energy going. I felt like Superman. I was talking in class. I was answering questions. I was like going in, and I was like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And every time he would offer, he would, whatever he had some, he'll cut it up, line it up, and then we'll do it. And, it would be, it wasn't just me, it was the people I used to hang around with. These boys were my age, a couple of them were older, and yeah, they would do the same thing.
Do you think the guy who was your dealer in 6th grade knew what he was doing, that it was meth or
Yeah,
no?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. I think he grew up around it, and he knew what he was.
And he was in 6th grade or was he older?
Yeah, he was in 6th grade
Okay.
too.
They were
Yeah,
just
he
kids.
didn't look like sixth grader. He was a taller dude. I know. I'm
What?
not gonna say his name, but yeah. Yeah. He was
Wow.
just taller guy. He looked older
Dang.
than what he really was. But he was. I think he's been around it most of his life. I think, and it was just something his family did. I believe. I don't know.
Wow.
I could be. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know anything about his story. I'm not gonna put anything around his story. Because there has to be a lot behind that
Yes.
Yeah.
where he ends
Yeah.
up dealing to sixth graders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does he get this meth from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put anything. I'm not gonna blame him for anything as well. It's not his fault at the end of the day. Um, and so yeah, it was just a bunch of us doing it, and we thought we were cool. And besides the the meth, we would drink. We would drink straight tequila, and yeah, from there it would be we'll do drink in the morning early as 7:30 in the morning when school started and
Did you
sober
start
up.
drinking before you were doing meth?
I think I drank once or twice. I drank on my 5th grade
Promotion.
promotion
Oh my God.
from
Oh.
there. My parents don't know this.
No way.
Oh,
My mom and my dad
Hey.
do not know this part, so they let me go to my friend's house, and
So you got your Dare
I
certificate.
got my Dare certificate, and
No.
and
He had the Dare shirt on that day.
I think I
Dang.
did. I think I did.
I'm kidding.
I think I did, and
Hey, what does DARE stand for?
I don't remember.
What?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember.
Do
Hey,
they still
but
do it?
No, they
No,
don't.
they
That's
don't.
They
the
don't?
reason
It was
why
a
they
good-
don't. Look at us.
What do
We
you mean,
came
look
out
at
not
us?
even knowing
Yeah.
what DARE means.
Yeah.
We all went through the program and you don't even remember what the
It's-
acronym means.
It was a good program.
Stands
but
for.
It
it's
was.
just,
It was.
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
I can't
I'm
either.
so sorry.
Okay, keep going with your stories so you
So-
could get in trouble by your parents.
So I'm not gonna get trouble. I'll probably yeah.
La chancla.
I
So-
mean,
sácale
you
la
were like
chancla.
5 years old. I mean, you were in 5th grade. Come on.
Yeah, I was.
is-
So
this
I
is
went to
not-
my friend's house, and his dad had tequila bottles. I think they were tequila or vodka. I don't remember what it was. And he's like, "Hey, you want to drink of this?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I think I took like 2 shots and I got super drunk. And I remember getting drunk because I felt dizzy. And
Wow.
after that, I never did. I never drank. It was just that one time. And then once I got into 6th grade, my other friends would bring tequila, and we would. Yeah,
That's
into-
crazy.
yeah, it's middle school.
What city did you go to school in?
and,
You don't have
uh,
to say the school's name. But,
Yeah, Highland Park.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Alright.
everybody from Highland Park is gonna know what school it was. Again, I don't blame the teachers or anybody.
I hope not.
They were amazing.
Right.
Like,
It
I
was
hope
just
not.
it was hard times still at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Now Highland Park is like a complete different.
It's like
Yeah.
Silver
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
live
yeah.
two completely
Everything.
It's being
different
everything.
gentrified.
lives.
Yeah, it's gentrified now. Yeah, it used to be a little bit different from now, how it is now. But
I
at-
tell him that me and his life were completely different. Like I wasn't doing none.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Norma
yeah.
definitely was not doing
no
drugs
drugs
at
6th grade. No, no, no.
6th grade.
So you do
I
your
was
first.
probably still playing with Barbie.
So you hit your first line.
The
You
fluffy
feel like,
socks.
whoa, this
The fluffy
is
socks.
amazing.
hmm
Not saying drugs is amazing. This is
Not at all. That's what I felt at that
At
time.
time.
So that's the first lie.
And then you were just like, I need it again, or
No, I wasn't feeling. I was like, cool, I did it. It was like a one-time thing. Nothing really mattered. And then that guy came back again. And he was like, hey, maybe 2-3 days after, you guys want to try it again? I was like, why not?
oh, he was getting you addicted.
Yeah. And then
If he never showed up again, knowing yourself now, do you think you would have found it again, or do you think it would have just been
after the first time, I think it was just the first time. Like, I'm cool with it.
okay?
Like, nah, whatever
Were you
happened.
paying for it?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the money I would make from the clown business, my dad would give me like $5,
okay.
$6, $5 to $10
They
a
were doing
week.
$2 a line
Dang.
right
Yeah.
before math
Yeah,
and
but
English.
you weren't.
Yeah.
Early, yeah.
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 Right when school session started,
Yeah.
we're like, that dude was ready. He had it,
Dang,
he
dude.
had him racked up and everything. So
I thought you were
Wow.
trying to, buy
Yeah.
some Fat Farms and K-Swiss or something.
no, not me.
No,
No.
he wasn't. No.
No, not me. Not at that
Okay.
time.
They got him all that.
Yeah.
Dang, por eso.
Oh, no, I got myself that. I work myself.
I mean, yeah, he was working.
I was working. I've been working since I was 9, so
Yeah.
proud of that, guys. Yeah. So
No
After
wonder
that-
you funny.
yeah, right. Yeah, no. But after that, it was just again, I don't blame the guy. It was just part of what happened. It's part of the story, and it's part of the testimony now. And at the end of the day, wherever this guy is, I hope he's alive and well, and his family's doing awesome and amazing. I don't wish him anything wrong. It's just we're kids. I'm sure he was a kid himself. He didn't know what was gonna happen down 10, 20 years from that first line. I'm sure he didn't realize what was going on.
So then when did it switch to like,
An everyday thing.
yeah.
High school.
Okay, so you slowly, I mean, was this guy still in your life throughout all middle school, like the
Yeah.
same dealer?
Same guy.
Okay, wait, same dealer all the way through high school?
No, no.
Oh,
It was just all middle school, and then once I got into like 8th grade, I started trying to find it different ways. When he wasn't available, then that's when I wasn't fiending at 8th grade, but
You were
I was already looking for it. Like if they had it, cool. Most of the
you
people
were problem solving.
yeah, if most of the people I hung around with were
Yeah.
older, so they had it. At that time they had it,
Mm.
or the brothers or the sisters of the guys that I was kicking it with, they had it. So that's how we would do it. I never bought it from my like a dealer, like a big time dealer. It was always like the brother had it, and then he just hooked it up.
Mm.
But that was it.
Wait, so out of the group of friends that you had,
Mhm.
was it just you that got like addicted, or were like some of your homies doing the same thing?
No, there was a lot of the dudes that I was doing it with that
You guys
I
all
I
got addicted at the same
I
time?
think so. Yeah, I think so. I would want to say yes. The most part, a lot of them would rather do weed
Mm.
than meth, and they would rather they drink than do meth. Um, I just preferred the rush. I did weed when I was a 6th grader as well, but I never really liked the downer on it. I always wanted to do the uppers,
You
like
like uppers.
like boom boom,
Yeah.
trying to do something, being up.
And that just comes with personality?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. And then once I hit
I don't know if it
yeah.
goes with personality.
Well, I was always
Preference?
I think it's just a genetic. Like I think it's your makeup.
yeah. I honestly think, and I know I don't know if I don't know. Uh I don't know if it has to do anything with like genetics where I I got it from birth. I don't want to say that, you know,
No,
just because I don't
what I
know.
was saying by that, it was like if you have like a lot of energy, like that doesn't mean that you're gonna be into uppers. Because I know people who have a
Yeah,
lot of energy and they prefer to like
down.
they
Yeah,
prefer a downer because
yeah,
it
yeah.
just mellows
Okay.
them out.
I
That's
think
what
I
I was
just
mean by
misunderstood the
yeah.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I meant by that.
yeah. Good. I didn't.
No,
That's
no, no, I didn't no, I wasn't
no.
going
I
down
just
that
didn't want to
route.
put
Yeah.
anybody on
Mm.
the spot like that. Yeah,
It was just that was what got you like, all right, cool.
yeah. I
So
just like it.
if weed had the same effect in the sense like,
He
oh, I
probably
like
would have
this,
I would
gone
have
for
you
done
would
it.
have
that.
just gone,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I would have done with definitely, definitely. But at that time it's just it was that.
So when did it go? When did it go
Hold on.
to
I
like,
want to know because I'm interested in the when did you try coke?
So okay.
Because they're I've been told they're very similar to an like
he's
if you would
been
have done coke
told
first, do you think you would have went into
Man,
this
I
you
don't
see
guy?
know. Yeah, I don't know. It's the way it happened. I did meth first, and
yeah.
then I did coke, and I hated it.
Is it
Like
because it just wasn't
for me, it wasn't up to par.
yeah.
The effect wasn't like there. It was we were at a quinceañera practice at that time, and this
Normas?
no, no,
No.
no,
Oh,
this is some
I
other
was about
quinceañera
to say,
practice.
Norma, they be doing
No,
some
no, no, no.
some drug
And
dealing.
some dude around the corner, or the same apartments. I don't know. I'll just leave it to speculation. I don't know.
In the
Nope.
area.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
right?
Well, this is allegedly.
Allegedly, right? Yeah,
This
in the area. He was
Not
in the area.
mine.
He could get stuff, right? And by stuff, I mean drugs, obviously. And I asked him like, "Hey, can you get the good stuff?" Like, "I got you." I guess he knew the lingo, and I got you. Don't worry. I was like, I went to his house. Like, "Oh, how much is it?" "Oh, just give me 25." I gave him the 25, and he gave it to me. And I'm like, right off the bat, it looked different. I was like, "What the heck?" You know? And he's like, "Yeah, that's good stuff, bro. That's gonna make you trip or whatever." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I went out, I got my little baggie, and I hit it.
did you didn't hit it. You hit it with a pipe?
No, no, no.
Oh,
I
yeah.
snorted. I would never. I hit it meth with the pipe a couple of times, but not all the time. I preferred snoring it, breaking it down and snoring it.
It's
And
rated R.
Mhm.
um,
It's crazy.
So yeah, I know, right?
Mhm.
It
So
doesn't even sound real.
so
It
this
just
this first time I did coke, it was it it just numbed me. Like my nose started. I'm like, dude, what the like? What is wrong? You know, I freaked me out for a second, and then it just didn't get me to the level I was used to.
Mm.
And it's just I felt like my nose was numb, my throat was numb. I was like, ugh, like what is this? So I went back to dude, and I was talking Matt's
Mac.
Mac, yes, Mac, thank you. To him, like, bro, what did you sell me? This is not the good. It's like, no, 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 dude, for real, this is the good stuff. Like, nah, like the other stuff gets me. Bro, like, how does it look? And I started telling him that looks like crystal. He's like, bro, this is not what this is, man. This is coke, bro. This stuff. Like, I'm like, what's the difference? And then he gave me a tutorial of what coke and meth were. And
Yeah.
he's like, I could get the other stuff too, but it's gonna take me a couple of more days. I was like, good. He's like, and I think I kept the coke and I did it with my friends anyways. But
No,
yeah,
hombre.
I
just
didn't.
for fun.
Yeah, he'll take
I mean, you
anything.
bought it.
There was no refunds ever.
Yeah, there's no refunds
Come on,
with drug dealers.
no,
Come on.
come on.
Dang. All
Like,
right,
you bought
yeah,
it,
that's
it's
true.
yours. Do what you wish with it. So that's the first time I did coke, and that's
That
when I
was when you were in high
realized.
school,
And,
or
no, still 8th grade, going towards high
Oh
school.
my
Okay.
goodness, nombre
Yeah,
este.
yeah,
So sad.
yeah. And
Oh wait, so when did it turn into like everyday thing?
everyday thing would be.
when were
Oh,
you like dependent on it?
Okay,
I think
you
junior
never,
year.
but you never noticed it yourself, right?
No, I
This
always.
didn't
He
come out till
always
like later
he
on in
always
years.
thought he can control it, even to the whole time.
I mean,
He
I think
thought
that's
he
what
could
a lot of
control it.
addicts
Yeah.
Yeah,
think.
I mean, that's
and
with anybody.
This
it-
is the phrase they use. Be like, I can stop at any time. Anytime I could stop.
But
I'm like,
everyone
that's
does
all a
that.
lie.
Like
But I don't want to
that's
right
like
now.
with people who are
Exactly.
But I don't want
controlling.
to.
Like, oh, I can stop it.
yeah,
Like,
No, you
or
can't.
I can change. Like, we
yeah,
all think like
Nope.
that. It's
no,
just what level you're at.
yeah,
Nope.
definitely. No, yeah. Well, at that time, I would leave it for a couple of months, and then get in soccer season. Soccer season started. I would leave it. I would drop everything. I wouldn't drink. I wouldn't do nothing, and I would just practice and do soccer. And then once soccer season was off, it was like, all right, it's party time again. But once it became really, I came dependent on it. I think it was junior year, um, sophomore, 10th grade to like That's where I think I started looking for it more. I had a friend, um, because she can get it. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. And I love you, but she can get it. So that sh- she was one of the girls I talked to, and she had the hookup, I guess, with her family, and she would get it for me, and we would get high together, and that was like 10th grade, and I kept knowing her towards my high school years, and she would be one of the ones that I would get it from. Um, and junior year was where every single day, like I would do it I stopped playing soccer like in high school for it. Just I wanted to dedicate my life to music after that, and I stopped playing soccer for the high school team, and then I just would focus on our outside team that we had.
And nobody in your family knew.
No, only
Mm-hmm.
my cousin Leslie. Um, Rest in peace, love you, cousin. That Yeah. So she's the only one that knew about it.
Is it because
On
she like she found out, or she just knew you were different?
No, because I would pick her up from school to school. Like we would go to the same high school, and we lived in the same area, and she uh she would see me do it. Like
Mm.
right, like I picked her up. Like my first thing in the morning was like get ready as soon as I could, and then go pick her up. And as soon as I picked her up, like I was like breaking it up already. And then when she got in the car, I would do it. And like first couple of times I would try to hide it, and then I just got to the point where it was like I wasn't even hiding it from her. I was like, and she would get mad at me. She would get
Mm-hmm.
pissed, and she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "That's not right." It's like, and she's like, "You better stop, or else I'm gonna tell your parents." And I was always like, "Yeah, whatever." You're not gonna tell. You're not gonna say anything. I grew up with her, so like I thought in my mind that like she was gonna back me up in my drug abuse, and she didn't. I think one of
Thank
the time
God.
one of the times
Mhm.
that she she saw me like just I was really fiending for it, and I did a big amount, and she's like, "That's it, dude. Like I can't see you this way, and
Mhm.
I'm just gonna tell your parents." I'm like, "No, you're not." And she ended up uh, telling my parents. She ended up telling her mom, and her mom I think called my parents, and my dad. It was funny because he found a dollar rolled up in my wallet. I would keep them rolled up already, just ready to go, you know. And I think it was my dad that found that dollar, and he's like, "Why is that dollar that way?" I was like, "Oh, I just rolled it up, just like for fun." He's like, "What? Like, oh, we know you're doing some drugs. What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not doing anything." I denied it. So it's like, "Are you telling me that she's lying?" I was like, "I don't know what she's talking about." You know, like I played it like I played it off, and I got super mad at my cousin for that. Like I stopped talking to her for like 2 3 months. You know, for that. But she was the only one that knew that I was doing drugs. Um, and she truly cared. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it's just
It's emotional.
that one got me. Just going
Mhm.
back to that scene,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, she would tell him, she's like, I don't care if you get mad at me. She still did it anyway.
Was
Yeah.
that part of like obviously then Norma came into your life and that like we're gonna jumping ahead a little bit, but like was that part of like when you decided to like just quit kind of cold turkey? Like did those like flashbacks happen of like people who were like trying to like, hey,
I think I mean, once we, jumping back to that, I decided to like just enough was enough was, it, I think it's just everything together,
yeah,
It was people that were there for me and like just honestly just being tired of who I, what I'd become, you know? I wasn't a nice guy. I was a punk, you know? Um, but yeah, I think it was all that, like all mixed in with the people that were actually there. um, That got me with obviously God.
yeah.
Mhm.
Did you finish high school?
Yeah, I finished high school. I
Burly. De panzazo.
yeah, no, yeah,
What
yeah.
is it?
De
What's
panzazo.
that?
Panzazos.
It's like how do you say it? How you
How do
can
you say it in English? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
burly, just burly,
Yeah,
just
like
like
Tummy
barely.
hit.
Tummy hit?
No,
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
no, it
translate.
doesn't translate well.
Like you
Yeah,
just barely passed.
burly
Yeah,
Yeah.
pass,
burly.
burly pass.
So de
Yeah,
Hey,
panzazo.
I had to go to night school and because
But he did it.
once I
So
went to like freshman year, I didn't want to be in high school. I didn't want to be in school, so I would ditch most of my I ditched most of the I think I went like 2 3 weeks full like out of the whole year if you count every
dang.
single day. So I had to make up those credits plus my 10th year. I started doing a little bit better because I got kicked out, and then I got kicked out again from that second high school, and that's when I hit junior year, and I went to this high school, and I started making up all the credits I've missed. It took me about year and a half to make up of like night school and a lot of
That's
work,
crazy.
but I made it up and I graduated. Yeah, went into college and that's where once I got into college, I stopped doing drugs for a bit, and then once I went to a different college, I got together with the wrong crowd again, and it was just a random question, That's the random question where I think it spun my life around, where it's like, "Hey, do you know anybody that sells, crystal?"
Was
And
it because of the people you were around or were you kind of like itching
I
for
was
it?
itching for it.
Yeah.
I was itching for it. I think I had up to that point. I think I've been sober for like about a year,
Oh wow.
year and a half, and then it was like I feel like I needed energy. Yeah, we'll cut it out. But that brand wasn't doing it, and then I so I wanted to do something, you know, more that could get me there. And I was doing good in college. I was getting all A's in my classes. I was, trying to do the best I can do. So for me, it was like I'm gonna get a little bit of help,
Mm.
and that
Little
was my
boost.
little
Mhm.
boost to keep
Were
me
you
up.
and Norma together
No,
yet?
not yet,
Okay.
not yet. We don't. Our families would see each other.
At this point, did you know he was on drugs? No. Oh,
No.
wow.
Nobody knew.
He did.
And you
Nobody
never
knew.
had
I
eyes
Hold
for
on, hold
anybody
on. So
else?
when did
Yeah,
people
well, I
know?
dated other people.
Okay, because
I
I was all like,
wasn't.
girl, don't tell me
Yeah.
you waited for him.
Why
No,
couldn't
She
she
did
no,
not
wait?
wait.
no. Nah,
not
I
wait.
dated other people, and he called me like when I was 15, and I knew he wasn't serious yet. Cause I was ready. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I'm ready to drop him. I'm ready to go for this one. I'm ready.
Dang, dude, this is
So if
true
you're her boyfriend at
love.
15, I'm sorry, man.
I know.
And then
You should be.
and then he called.
You were just a holding place.
And then
Hey.
oh, I know that's mean.
That's
He's a
messed
nice
up.
guy.
He's
He was a
nice.
But
nice
essentially,
guy.
that's what you're saying. You're just like, I mean, I was dating him, but if Eder wanted it, he was serious.
Because
Done.
Eder, I fell in love with Eder at first sight. Like that's different.
I like
You
how
know
you
what
twist
I mean?
people's words.
I know you're trying to mess it up.
for your own
Anyways.
He's a nice guy.
agenda.
He's a nice guy, bro.
Anyway.
Who's a nice guy?
That guy. He's a nice
Yo,
guy.
okay, that guy. I was all like, this guy, you kidding me right now, right?
Anyway, so he called me and I knew he was just playing around. And he called me. He's like, hey, what are you doing and stuff? And I was like,
you better
well,
shoot- you
I'm with my
spitting game.
boyfriend right now, and I hanged up.
That's right, girl. You
And
tell him.
tell him the other side.
So the other side, I was with the boys, you know, the homies. And I was like, boys.
So why did you want to call her?
'Cause I
Just
just
listen.
wanted to
Look.
call her. I'm like, hey, you know,
No, he did
I
it
got-
with a plan.
I got this honey that's, you know, like she's all over me. I know, and
Sin
dude, I'm gonna
vergüenza.
call her and just watch how good I got
Dang,
her.
good
Watch it.
job.
Watch
good
how good he
job.
How
got
good?
it.
So the homies
Watch
gather
how
around.
good he got it.
I put her on speaker. I put her on speaker. I'm like,
I
hey.
didn't know that. I didn't know
She didn't
that.
know this story.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
She was 15. I was 18, 19 around this time. So I called her up. I'm like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? And that's when she laid it down. She's like, oh, I can't talk right now. I'm with my boyfriend. And she clicked.
All those are, ooh.
Oh, the homies like,
Yeah.
whoa. I thought
Guess
you
what?
had her.
He
I was
never
like-
called me back after that.
I was like, nah,
Dang.
it's not even like that with her. It's like, whatever, guys, don't matter. Whatever. But they were bagging. The homies were bagging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I
That's
think he
good.
got mad at me
I
because
know, I got burned, dude.
he stopped talking to me
yeah.
after 3 years.
The pride.
That was it. So
Oh
after
my
that,
goodness.
you didn't talk to her for 3
Zero.
years.
He didn't talk to me.
Nothing.
Sin vergüenza,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, 100%.
Sin
Like I ain't playing
vergüenza.
games.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like
I ain't playing games.
I'm trying to be
playing
real.
No,
games.
I
Yeah.
just have you on speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, my homie doesn't hear.
maybe
But
I was
what?
trying to be
You
serious in that moment. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
wanted to show the homies how
Whatever.
much I loved you.
Yeah.
Lies.
Nah,
That's
I
funny.
don't, yeah,
Oh
there
my
was no good
goodness.
intentions under that call.
There wasn't.
No
There
good
wasn't.
intentions.
Dang, and he still got butthurt?
Yeah, he got
I did
butthurt.
get
He stopped
butthurt.
talking to me
Yeah, I did.
completely.
I quit her cold turkey too.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Boom.
We went to go live in Rancho for a little while. We came back, and I had just recently turned, I think, 18, and it was my cousin's birthday party. So, and I heard they had hired him and his dad.
were you
And-
upset?
Oh no, I was totally ready to go see it.
Oh, my Norma.
I had gotten my first job, so I was like, oh, I need to go get an outfit. I gotta go get my nails. I gotta do my hair. I gotta go get some makeup. So I did all that. I didn't have a cell phone. Went to go buy myself a cell phone because I wanted to make sure I got his number. And then I was like, at the end, I was like, I don't want to be so desperate though. I was
Dang.
already desperate. And then, so then we got to the party. I was dancing with my uncle, and then he got there. And what happened, baby?
So I seen her.
Were you on drugs?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm
You're
sure.
on
Maybe.
I'm sure in that week I
Yeah,
I
because-
was sober actually. I was sober. I was sober. So I got off the car. We had our people set up our stage and whatever, our staff, and I got off the car and I seen a girl dancing.
All of a
And
sudden.
then
All
I
of
didn't know
a
it was her. I
sudden.
didn't know it was her. I see this girl dancing, bro. I was like, who's that? Like looking at her from
How
a
old are you?
distance.
I was 18.
She was
18.
18 already.
Oh,
I was 18.
So
It's about to go
down. So I hadn't, like, mind you, I hadn't seen her for 3 years since I
Yeah.
stopped talking to her. No contact. Like I didn't
No
want to see her,
contact
whatever.
whatsoever.
So from 15 to 18, she changed. Let me tell you.
Oh, my
So-
goodness.
No. So I seen her and
So
I was like,
you laid in the, like those seeds. You planted that and you were coming to reap your harvest.
Shut
Yeah, of course.
up.
That's how it was. You know, it's like David, working the sheep, in the background. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Dang.
it. Kevin's over here. Thank you, man. He's
No.
serving the drinks
No,
today. Thank
no,
you.
no.
Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
So
That's our intern, Kevin.
that's the intern.
That's
He's
funny.
you guys met him last week.
Yeah.
So I seen her. I was like, "Ooh, who is that?" So I got closer to where we're gonna perform as clowns, and man, it was her. It was Norma. I was like, "Oh snap! She looked good." I was like,
That's
"Man."
right.
But then I was like, "Man, she's
Get
dancing
it,
with
girl.
this one guy, good looking guy." I was like, "Ooh, like she's probably taken." But I'm
That's
not.
your uncle.
But
That was my uncle.
see, but I'm like, she's taken, but I'm not jealous. Um,
Yeah, you are.
You know,
You
a little
you
obstacle,
are.
nothing I can't handle. A little roadblock, a little speed bump.
We've been there. You know what I mean? I had the game plan on.
You ain't married.
She embarrassed me in front of my homies.
Nope,
Yeah,
nope.
right? No, so I honestly forgot. After I seen her, I was like, ooh, like I need to talk to her. So I like throughout the whole shot, I just kept staring at her, and then
He
looking
came and
at her.
gave me gifts and stuff.
Did you feel it though?
Oh, I felt it.
You knew he was trying to get at you?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it
I
don't
was like,
matter.
that's right.
Dang,
so-
Norma. That must have felt so good, dude.
To her,
It did.
yeah,
It
yeah.
did. It was like full on.
Yeah, like this
yeah.
guy wants you.
But
All right.
okay, so now like that's my side. Like I seen her, like, ooh, I gotta talk to her. But I did not know anything that she did before that day, till that day. So that's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so like it was like ending of the show, and damn, how am I gonna get his number? Because I ain't gonna go up there. I already did all this stuff. Like I don't wanna like
Dang.
be too crazy, So then my sister, I was like, oh, come and help me. And she's like, okay. And
Come on,
stuff.
Daisy,
So
come on camera.
we went up to him and we're like, oh, how are you? How you doing? And my sister she's like, oh, hey, maybe we should get your number so we can hang out. And I'm like, Daisy, you're so smart.
Hey, and so Daisy said that to Eder or
To
That's
Eder.
Daisy.
you?
Daisy said that to Heather. Yeah. Yeah, she played it all out.
Thank you.
And
she had to
then,
be this for this. Had to be here for this
so
story.
we went on our first date. Daisy came too.
God, Daisy.
Dang.
Daisy.
She was trying to make sure,
Dude, for real. Like she gave me her number, and then immediately I texted her. I'm like,
Norma?
I texted
What? You
Norma.
didn't wait the 3 days?
No,
You know?
no, not me.
You watched
No,
too
he
many
texted me right
What?
then and
No,
there.
right
You
then.
watched too many movies. Wait.
Movies?
come
You
on now.
kidding
Listen.
me? With men nowadays? Please, Nick.
Well, I mean, that was back
Yeah,
then.
We're talking about back then.
All right,
you know What
girl.
I mean?
Yeah, so I texted her right away, and I was like, "Ooh,
He hadn't even left the party.
I
He
was in the
already texting.
parking.
He knew what he wanted.
Dang.
He was texting.
He knew what he wanted. She knew what she wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're not
he
playing
knew what
games.
he wanted 3 years later. Hair did, nails done.
He couldn't-
Come on.
She was 15. He was 9. He couldn't even
I
done anything
mean,
anyway.
you knew what you wanted because she already knew what she wanted first.
Yeah,
But okay,
exactly.
I mean, we can put it in
Exactly.
those terms. You know what I
Mhm,
mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, she was also 15.
That doesn't matter.
Like, he couldn't
Anyways.
do anything.
I couldn't. That's legally.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Never
Yeah,
stopped
but
you,
I
Nick.
knew, so it was fine.
Never what?
Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, I called her right away, and texted her, and then we text through a couple of days, and we decided to go out, and I asked her if she wanted to go to the movies. She said yes, and I got there. I thought it was gonna be me and her only.
That's hilarious.
Hey, that's
That's
when you're 18,
hilarious.
right? You and I
Amazing.
are the same age. I was
Okay.
just thinking about that. Like, when I was 18, I was like, dang. Like,
Yeah, it was a.
dang.
Wait, so then why'd you bring Daisy?
So- Oh, no,
I-
wait,
it was like a rule?
I don't
or
know.
Like
I don't know.
No,
You
no,
tell me
no.
what
No,
you
I know.
bring
That's
her.
why I want to ask.
So because I was really nervous.
Okay.
I was really nervous, like to go out with him.
Con
This is what you've been
Uh-huh.
waiting for, right?
Yeah. So I was like, he wasn't feeling it, but I was nervous. Like I felt all these butterflies. Like I was like, I don't want to be messing up
Aw.
and stuff. So my sister was nice enough to be like, oh, don't worry, I got you. So
Is
she
your sister
came
older or younger?
younger. So she
She
came.
sat between you guys?
She sat between us.
That's right.
She picked the
Hey.
movie.
True MVP right there.
You know,
Dude.
But because she
Nothing.
knew,
I couldn't
she
even
knew.
hold her hand.
You're all trying to reach for the popcorn and like
Nothing.
Daisy, but like, excuse me.
I got the popcorn right here.
I know.
Where's your hand
No,
going?
no. She get to your own tray. There
Yeah,
you
right,
go.
yeah.
No
She
sharing
put- she
popcorn
put
here.
That shit, dang, she almost
Why are
did
you
that.
looking this way? The screen's right ahead.
Yeah. The movie was
You're
alright.
all
but-
trying to put your arm around to touch Norma, but like she's like, it's a little hot, okay,
yeah,
Daisy.
yeah. No, she completely protected her sister.
Yeah, she
Dang.
did.
She did good. She was a good
Yeah, she was
third
good.
wheel.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you,
was.
Daisy.
She was.
Appreciate it.
She was watching out.
She
Mhm.
really
making
was.
sure
She really
everything
was. She really was.
He wasn't playing any games right
Crazy.
here, but he
Nah,
was. But
I got a kiss at the end though.
No way.
I got a
Yeah,
kiss
he
at the
did.
end.
Where
He
was
did.
Daisy?
She went inside.
Ah,
The only time.
Yeah,
The only time.
Daisy.
Woo, I got a little kiss.
yeah. It was little.
I was
Don't
tw-
really-
yeah.
It was fine.
It's a
It
quick,
was a little tiny one,
it's a quick kiss.
and I went inside all fast.
I know. She went on and said, "Kiss me."
But you know the
I
crazy.
don't know the lyrics.
You know the
but-
crazy story about this.
What?
I was with someone at this time.
Sin vergüenza, dude.
No,
Let's just get him a shirt que dice sin vergüenza, de veras. No lo puedo creer.
I was-
That's like,
I
dude,
was
3
22.
years?
Yeah.
And
So the
then you
thing
come
is-
back and you do
Look,
this to her?
the thing is,
Norma.
the day of the party, he texted me and I asked him. I was like, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend?" I wasn't with anybody,
Mhm.
but he was on it. He said, "Yeah," and so
Dude,
then.
If they ever see this podcast,
I know, dude.
they don't know this at all. So this is brand
Okay,
new.
Who's
so
they?
I'm
the
not.
person-
No, you
the
can't be
per-
saying
oh,
no
I was like-
names.
The person.
the person I was with.
The significant other.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, this
So he
was over
texts-
10 years ago.
he texts,
Yeah, but
12 years ago.
but still,
12.
it's sad.
I mean,
I
she
mean,
never knew it happened.
come on.
Yeah. So
So-
then he told
Yeah, we
me,
know where your
knows
heart's
now.
and
at.
I was like, okay, at least you're being honest. You're not lying about it. And I told him, but if we're gonna continue, I'm not gonna be that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be that. So
didn't say
Play
that.
no games.
so I told him, I was like, you either have to break up with her or you can continue dating her. I just won't be in your life. So he made that conscious decision.
You broke up with her?
Not right.
No.
He
You had your cake and
Okay.
ate it too?
Yeah, he
Dang,
did.
dude.
So the story is not about me and that other person. The story is
Hey,
about me
y'all,
and Norma.
just to clarify,
but-
I love Eder. Right? I'm just giving him a hard time because I love Norma more.
No, you
Okay.
gotta stick it out, dude.
It's
Trust
like
me. Stick
el
to it.
corazón, man.
After I put her through, no, for real.
Girl, I know.
No, it's just funny. I just want to redirect the story. That's it. That I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so she did tell me that. So I worked. I found the workaround. I found the loop and
I don't know where there was a
the
loop.
hole in loop or what's the saying say?
Loophole.
The loophole. I found the loophole, and it worked for a while. But then after I realized that Norma was the one. Like,
When? How?
Wait, let me tell you. Let me tell you how he did his little loophole. So I was in the car. He called her, and then he broke up with her. It seemed all real.
I've heard
Oh, I
this.
remember
No, I
this
remember
girl.
this.
I remember this girl. This is the girl that it happens. That was their relationship. They break up all the time and they
Yeah,
get back
I
together
didn't
all the
know
time. Dude.
Hey, way to think ahead though. Like, I
Dang.
like that.
I'm not
That-
trying to
You
be a-
you called her up like you already knew. Hey, I'm surprised you didn't put her on speaker like you did with the
He did.
homies.
I mean, she might not have
No.
been on the phone.
He
He
did.
did.
Yeah, she was there, but it's obvious that it was a loophole. I'm not happy. I'm not proud of it. It was just at that time that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And so Norma thought I broke up with her, and so we
I was like,
continued
okay,
dating. And
we're
and-
good.
Oh man, this is so bad. So it's so bad, bro.
Go, come on.
Because it's bad just because nobody else knows. Like
Yeah.
like
yeah.
nobody know. Like it was only me and Norma that know. I've never said this story to anybody but me and Norma. Like
Well, you don't have to say it.
no. It's just no. I'm not gonna say the whole story, but it's just technically I was living with this person at that time, and I was seeing Norma,
Hmm.
and she never found out. But yeah,
Neither did
Oh.
I.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I didn't know either.
No, what?
About
That-
the other girl that he was living with somebody.
Well, eventually,
So
she
how?
knows
but the other
she-
girl doesn't know.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the other girl doesn't know. Yeah,
No, but how'd you find
yeah,
out?
she just
I didn't find out
She,
till later.
Oh, wait.
if she's listening, she's just found out.
How'd you find out?
I didn't find out till later till he
Damn.
broke up with me.
What? I thought you picked Norma.
Yeah, so it was this happened.
Just wait, man, it gets
this
crazy.
happened with a period
This is
of time.
this is what happens when you don't, when you barely graduate high school, boys and girls. Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Don't do.
I think I'm all right. I think I'm okay now.
All right,
you know?
keep going.
In that period of time, we started dating when he had broken up with her, whatever, everything was good. We started dating, and then it got to this certain period of time where we were in the car, and he's like, "Oh, I need to tell you something," and I'm all like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm into crystal meth," and I was like, I didn't get. He's like, "Oh, are you disappointed?" I was like, "I'm not disappointed." But in my head, I'm all like, "How am I gonna get him off of it?" Like I was already planning a whole plan
Wow.
to get him to get off the drug.
Question. What made you tell her you were addicted to crystal meth? I have a question. Did your cousin pass yet?
Yeah, she passed.
Not at that time. She was
Oh,
still she was still alive.
No, she
Okay,
was still
okay.
alive. Yeah,
She was
she was
still
still-
alive at that
yeah.
time.
Okay.
I actually met her at
Okay.
that time.
yeah, they got
Yeah.
along well.
Yeah, we did.
So what made you?
Tell her.
Yeah.
I think at that point I was probably the only person he truly told up front.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah,
the
so
first time he
why?
told anybody.
Yeah, I didn't. At that point, I don't think anybody knew, but the people I would do it with. But inside my family, no one knew.
So why'd you tell her?
And I think the other person that I was dating knew at that time. I think at that time she already knew. I don't remember.
Hey, she didn't know a lot of stuff. So
She did not know a lot of stuff.
okay.
Not proud of that, but it was just where I was at that time, and I'm not happy, not proud of that either.
And he's sorry for it.
I am actually, like nobody deserves to ever get treated the way I treated this girl, and yeah, I got that. I take full responsibility for it, and she's watching. I don't know if she is, but um, with all due respect to my wife, like I'm sorry, straight out, my bad.
So why'd you tell her? Why'd you tell her about meth?
Her,
Yeah,
just wanted to come clean with someone,
that's crazy.
like after so many years of just
lying to everybody.
yeah, I'm like, dude,
Too many lies, huh?
I think in my mind is like, okay, if this is something it was like maybe to test her to be
Mm.
like, oh, if she dumps me, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah,
know?
because you're the one he wants to test.
And I
Yeah,
remember
right?
the first thing I told him, I was like, "Well, I'm happy that you had the courage to let me know about it." And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It was completely different. Like her answer was completely different from what I expected.
Exactly.
You know?
I love this
I was like,
woman, man.
she threw me off.
I'm happy. I'm glad that you want to.
Shit, yeah,
I'm like, I'm out. What the? What?
yeah, completely. I was like, okay,
Norma.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
yeah. I mean, I just wanted to come clean, and
Yeah.
I did, and I thought I honestly thought she might dump me.
Yeah. So then, how did
Cause-
you end up breaking up with her?
I was falling in love with her, and I was scared.
Yeah.
And like I was going through a phase where I was with this other girl, and we were going through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just I was going through stuff with her, and then I was going through stuff with Norma, and at the end is like I picked the one that I had the most time with at that time, So it was just like, I'm sorry. I kind of just got with Norma.
Yeah.
And so, in my eyes, I had more to lose with the other one, and that was a stupid decision.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, hold on. I got
You
it
got
twisted.
confused.
I got it twisted. I was thinking you're gonna pick Norma because that's who you have the most time with. Like you've met her since 5 years old.
No,
You're-
no,
you're
they
pick-
didn't know each other. They didn't really
That
like.
we've never dated.
No,
together.
no. I know you guys haven't, but when I think time, I think like the person I've known the longest, not like been with,
Yeah.
but you were what?
Yeah. So at that time, I was a little.
I
God,
remember
God bless her heart.
when
Yeah,
when all this happened. I remember I got so depressed. My best friends had to come and take me literally out of my house. Um, Pancho,
Hey
Francisco.
Pancho, come over here,
He
man.
had he was like, you know what? We're done with this. He got me out. He made me take a class that I didn't think I could pass. He's like, I'll help you. It's okay. I was in college and he helped me get out of the house and everything. And I remember every single day I was crying. I was like, he's happy. He's happy. And that was the only thing that could keep me going throughout the day,
That he was happy?
that he was happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Norma.
Right? I know, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
Till
It's
death do
great.
you part, man.
I know, man.
This
Not even then.
woman talks. I've never known.
Because I will find you.
I know. Stop. That's oh my goodness. Talk about loyalty. I've never seen it in such
Me
way.
Hey,
Oh my
Nothing I could do
goodness.
could shake her.
I experienced it, and
Wow.
I mean, we joke about it now, and
Yeah, it's funny
we're,
now.
we're at a place in our marriage where we're able to talk freely about it, and we talked about it before, but it's just going always back at it. It's like, man, like in my mind is like, where was I? And I know in my mind I was not all there. I'm not gonna blame anything on anyone. It's just I wasn't right with myself, and I was finding everything and anything I can do to not face who I really was and what
Yeah.
I really wanted. I was scared for that, and she was bringing that out. She was bringing the guy that wanted to be with her and wanted to love her and wanted to be loved by her, but at the same time, it's like I felt like I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't deserve that.
Mhm.
Because I was a complete jerk, and I knew that.
Mhm.
And being with this other person, it was like it felt better just because, we had our issues, but we figured it out at the end. Like whatever you do, I do me, and then at the end of the day, we go our
It's
separate
easy.
ways.
Yeah.
It was an easy thing. So when I broke up with her, with Norma, I went back and stayed with this other girl for a couple of more months, and
Then it was time for his birthday was coming. And then I was like, should I text him or should I not?
Oh.
And
How long did you debate that?
maybe 10 seconds. Because then
gotta
I
love
thought
Norma. You gotta
I was like, no, like nobody would want like to not tell them happy birthday, their birthday,
That's true.
And I was like, maybe he's lonely or something. And so I text him and I was just like, I'm just gonna say happy birthday and that's it. And I text him happy birthday and that's it. That's all I wrote. I didn't write anything else. And
you emailed me.
I emailed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
so you didn't text him. You
I
emailed him.
didn't
She
text
didn't
him.
have my number.
Yeah, I didn't. He completely disconnected me.
I didn't. I was broke, living off of my car. At that
Okay.
time.
Okay, so it wasn't his fault. It
Yeah.
wasn't his. It was by choice.
But you see how it looks.
I was broke at that.
You're
time,
lucky you ain't got
guys.
no social media. She DM you. She be
For real.
tweeting you. She be.
MySpacing me.
I know. There you go. Top 10. Norma.
Yeah, I emailed him and then he read it.
Yeah, I just I
How'd you feel? How'd you feel when you got that text
So,
after a couple
the
months
the
being with this other
email.
girl?
You
Email.
know what? It surprised me just because it's like, God, like really, like not in a bad way. It was just like more of a like I've done anything and everything to this girl to this point, and it's insane, So I had to, email her back and apologize for what I did, for breaking up with her and hurting her heart and just being a complete douche, and um yeah, and
He wrote the longest letter ever.
Do you still have it?
No.
that would have been good to see.
I know that would have been great. I'm gonna look for it. But he wrote
Say,
it's
wait.
because look, I didn't read it.
You've never read it.
Dang.
I didn't read it entirely. I just read the first line.
What's the first line?
I'm sorry.
Do
And
you
then you
still have
forgave
this?
him.
And then I called him and I told him to come and pick
Oh my goodness, Norma!
me up.
Wait a second. You wrote a handwritten letter.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no.
It
It
was
was
an
an
email. It
email.
was an
Do you
email.
still have that email?
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't
I have to
remember.
look for it.
Yeah.
You know what? Nick will
But
let
it'd be
you
nice
get.
to read it.
Nick will help you get back into your old emails.
Yeah. Yeah. He probably would.
Uh,
Yeah.
It'll be.
No.
That's
So
why
I
I don't
mean,
do
I'ma look
any
for it.
illegal activities. I don't know how to do such a
yeah.
thing.
No. So after
Sure.
that, we started talking again, and
Yeah, he picked me up that same day.
yeah. Long story short, with that, um, the other girl and I broke up, and like for sure, and I stayed with Norma.
How old? How old now?
I think
Cause
all this happened within a span of like maybe a year.
okay, 'cause you
Yeah,
said it
So
was
you
yeah,
a
were
yeah.
couple
19.
months.
Yeah.
No, I was still
She
18.
You were
was
still
8.
18.
Yeah, like maybe a couple of months. It was
18 turning
yeah,
going on to
into 19.
19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he proposed within that time. We went to go see the
Well, yeah,
movie.
dude. Wow.
Yeah.
He took me to
But
see
that's
7 pounds.
just
We were by a waterfall
what's nice.
And he proposed there?
and he proposed there. Yeah, he had the ring in his mouth. He kissed me and I was like, ah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
would be
really
like,
nice.
¿Qué es eso?
I know, ¿qué es
Right?
eso?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's crazy when you look back at it, And
Wow.
Yeah.
it's funny because I mean, it's not really funny, but
Mhm.
it's crazy because if we look at it, that was just the beginning of
Our lives.
our
That was
rel-
just the beginning.
that was
That
just the
was just the
beginning, and
beginning.
Yeah.
it's already been crazy.
Yeah.
I know a lot of couples or a lot of relationships they probably would have
Not
not
lasted.
lasted the first
Uh-uh.
couple of weeks with that.
Yeah.
So I have to amend, Norma, for keeping on and holding on. I've always said this, and I'll say it again, and I'm not afraid to say it, just because I know without she's the one that held this relationship, um, you know, from the hardest times to now where it's the easiest times.
Yeah.
And she's held on like a trooper. Not honestly, like I don't know what I've done in my life to deserve such an amazing person.
Mm.
Like I really don't know. And like I know God is looking out for me. That's
Yeah.
all I know. The only thing I know is that God has been looking out for me, placing this amazing woman in my life. I know that. And it's amazing now, and I get to wake up next year every single day, which I love, and I cherish those moments, and I love her with everything. And I know we're saying these stories, and I know I was a complete punk. It's just I'm not ever gonna take like, oh no, it's because of this. No, I was just a punk.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna I no escape. I was just a douche to
And,
everyone.
and you know what's just so crazy? I mean, because it is so like you were loyal, right? You were loyal, but at the same time you were stubborn. Like
I
you
know.
weren't gonna give up, but then you're also persistent, and they all have some similarities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just and it's so funny. I mean, I love your guys' story because I mean I love to hear it, and I'm like whoa whoa, and I've heard it a couple times, guys.
But this is like the detailed version.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. No, but I think it's just so amazing because I literally just see like God. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
God in everything. God in Norma. God in just like, helping her with her heart, helping you with your heart, and it's just wow. It is so amazing.
Yeah.
Everything that you guys have gone through. You know what I mean? And just like, wow. I'm just so amazed, sin vergüenza, pero I'm so amazed.
No, yeah. It's a trip now. It's weird. In a good in all its good ways.
Now, like I know that then I didn't know with God, but I knew now that God was always putting me a picture of who he was gonna be,
Wow.
and that's what I fell in love with. And I was like, all right, all right.
Yeah, because I always question that. Like I every time I would get into I was binging on meth. I'd always tell her like,
Why are you here?
why are you here? Like
Mhm.
like
One
why
of
are
the
you
biggest
still
questions.
here? And she would tell me that. She was like, "'Cause I know, you could be better than what you're doing now." and I see it, and she would like reaffirm me. She would just tell me like, "You can be better than what you are now." And like at that point, I didn't we didn't know it was God, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just it was just words, you know.
Yeah.
But and then it would trip me. It would just take me from a position of like, okay, I guess, but I didn't want to believe it. I again, I didn't know, and I felt like I didn't deserve her,
Mhm.
and I was afraid of facing my personal demons with, and I think I was pushing them down with the drugs. Yeah. So once we got married,
Yeah, so first, he started talking to his mom, and then his mom had invited us over to Atlanta to go see her. And we're like, "Oh yeah, we should go." And then he asked me if I wanted to go. Mind you, this is my first time ever going anywhere without my family.
Mhm.
So we went, and his mom asked if we could stay in Atlanta. And we're just like, okay, we're staying. We're going to make a life here. Okay. And we did. And then we ended up don't do anything backwards. Get married first, have children then. Okay. But we
Get
did
it,
it
girl.
kind of backwards. Anyways, so we ended up finding out that I was pregnant um, heading over there. But I didn't know that. I was
Mm.
eating like no tomorrow. Like, it was my
Damn.
first time meeting his family, and I ate like 4 plates of their food.
Wow.
It
they're
was
like,
so
oh,
sad
because
because they
she's you
just
know
got
she's tiny. She's like, man, this girl can eat. I was like, I know,
Yeah.
I know. Tell me, my wallet knows.
My wallet.
Go with those dates. You can
So we stayed. Emmett was born. We got married, and there's where he was starting again. I think he was going off and on.
Yeah, so I was in Georgia, and I met this one guy, and uh, again, like,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
Is Kevin in Georgia or is Kevin
No, Kevin was here.
Kevin was
here?
here. Yeah,
Okay. So he was never in Georgia with you, or he showed up at some point.
yeah,
He
we would come for
no,
vacation.
Okay.
yeah,
Why the question though?
Because I know that Kevin is somewhat in the story of like with you doing drugs and oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
put you off.
I mean that's
I
his
mean,
story. That's
yeah,
his
it's his story.
story.
But
That's his
I'm
story
trying
to
to
tell.
because I know he's younger, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
like figure out like
the math.
the math. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Everyone's
because
snitching on
everyone
Kevin
is like
tonight.
younger. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
so it
like
was
it's
after.
yeah.
It was after all that. It was after.
yeah. No, Kevin's in the story. He's here in LA.
So you guys left and he's still out here,
Yeah, he's
and
still
then
out
you
here.
guys eventually come back.
Come back.
Yeah, we
Okay,
come
Came
okay,
back.
back.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
going back to the point in Georgia where I met this guy, he offered me some stuff.
I
So
found it when I was
So you were
pregnant.
looking for it.
I wasn't. It just
Oh,
Mhm.
you
happened.
weren't.
It just happened to show up, you know. And I
Oh.
was like, okay, why not? And at that time, I was sober about year and a half, almost. I think almost 2, honestly. And he showed up, and he had some. I was like, hey, you want some of this? I'm like, why not? You know?
And you weren't there.
Yeah, I found it one night. I was pregnant. So it was not good. He said he would stop, and I'm not sure if you did.
I
Did
did.
you?
I did.
Okay, you
I
did.
did. I think in Georgia, I only did it make maybe like once or twice, and I made it a point to myself that I'm not gonna do it. She's pregnant. I'm gonna have a kid. I gotta be a different guy. I can't be doing this, you know. And it worked. We're like, okay, it worked for a while.
Mhm.
Um, and I was clean. Emmett was born. I was clean. I was good. And then the opportunity came to come back to LA, and I was afraid of doing that just because I knew here was where um
We had our own business over there. We
yeah
were starting a lot of things. So
yeah
Wow.
so to
um,
leave that to come back to technically nothing
yeah, and start all
was
over again.
kind of scary, and then
Yeah,
besides that I had all the
The
drug
homies and
history,
everybody.
you know.
yeah,
So I was a little scared, but we ended up
coming back.
coming back and making this decision among both of us that it was best for us to come back, and we did. And we came back, and maybe within a month or 2 of us coming back from Georgia, no, less, I'm lying, I'm sorry. It was within maybe a month max of us coming back from Georgia that I got I
Worse.
I came into um I got in contact with people that were doing meth,
You
and
reached out to them?
no, it was just again, it,
Just
it, it happened to be there.
What?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna
It's
put
like it
anybody.
starts looking for
I'm not.
you,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm not gonna put anybody on blast.
Yeah.
But it happened to be there, and I said,
Sure,
He
why
why
not?
started.
not?
I'm like, hey, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, hey, it's just this one time. This one time. That's it. And that's
That's
all.
how it
That's how it
started.
started. Again, like, and that was the one time where it was the longest period of time of me abusing meth, and that was for about 3 years.
was it because
No.
like it was did it did, did it happen that it was just it was there, or was it just like you were like Georgia and like life and you just wanted like to like a mental escape like a or was it just
No, no, I wasn't
No.
looking for it. It was
Yeah.
just um it was there. It was just there. And
The excuses came like later, so
okay.
he could continue on doing it.
yeah, no, at I honestly, at that point, I was just I stumbled upon it, and I was like, well,
It's
Might as
here.
it's
well.
Might as well,
might
yeah.
as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
just do
yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
I started doing it, and Norma didn't know. I started again, and but
Yeah.
this is the spiral well where we got our own place afterwards, and that's just now I was
That's where it got really bad.
that's where it got really bad.
Is this the place in Bell
Linwood,
Linwood?
Linwood.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
but why do you think this it was different this time? Like why is it that you suddenly just went like 3 years? Like what was it fatherhood, the change back? Like why do you think that you just, went on a downward spiral?
Man, that's a really good
That
question.
is a really good question.
Yeah, is it like is it because like
Nothing.
okay, Norma, I got like you know what I mean? You're kind of like in a good place where
I what
is it because you still believe like, oh, I still don't deserve it, so I need a like I don't want to say it, but I need a F up so that I can feel like okay, like she should leave me for like, you know what I mean? Like were you trying to
no,
like self-sabotage?
can he answer?
No, not yet. Hold up. But you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
self-sabotage. Like
Yeah.
where you literally like sabotage anything that's good for you in like
For
for no
no
reason.
apparent
yeah,
reason.
like being more self-aware. Like I'm asking it now because of course at the time you just wouldn't know, but does anything come to mind of to like why?
I think uh through all this through until that time, I think I just wanted to suppress what I was really feeling.
Mhm.
I did not want to deal with the fact that of the person who I was. So when I moved to Georgia, I didn't have time uh to process like, okay, I did drugs, whatever. I'm not that person anymore. Whatever. I'm gonna become a dad. I'm a dad now. So it's
Yeah.
work mode. So I'm working three,
You had
four jobs.
businesses.
Boom, business.
Yeah.
I'm getting money. I'm trying to
Yeah.
support my family for the first time. So I didn't have time to like think
Think.
about
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and then when I
And we were
came
working together. All the jobs in Atlanta, we worked together.
we worked.
All of them.
We
Oh,
worked.
wow.
Yeah. So I didn't have time to like, only like those 2 times where I messed up. But then even then I was like, nope. I know where this is gonna take me. Like
Mhm.
in my mind is like I could control it, right? I don't need it. So I let it go. My
Mhm.
family is more important. When I came to LA, it's like it was a reality check for me where it's like, oh snap, like I had more time to
You were bored?
to think,
Yeah.
to to let my mind wander.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, again, I stumbled upon it. And then from there it was just every day. It was every single day just getting high.
Someone
Yeah.
farted.
Did they?
Yeah, it was every single day, and it just
The
there
one
was
who smelled
things.
dealt it?
Yeah, that's what he did. He took
Yeah,
Nah.
it.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I
was like, I don't
know.
smell anything. You
He
smell
smelled
something?
it right away.
You
I don't
know
smell
what though?
anything.
I'm all
Yeah.
congested, so I was like, I can't
Yeah.
smell you.
How convenient.
No, right? No, so yeah, so that once that happened, it was just a spiral, like
Yeah, down.
really like downward
Yeah.
spiral,
He started not sleeping for days, or take full days entirely of sleeping.
So after binging on on meth for like 4 or 5 days,
How much money were you spending on this?
oh man, I was spending 300, $400 a week.
I thought you were about to say a day.
Wow.
No, not a
I was
day.
like,
No,
So,
I can't.
dang.
but
I
mind you, at
He got
this
the
time
discount.
we didn't have money for food or stuff. So
Oh,
half of the time, like either
Yeah, but you're never hungry on it.
No,
he wasn't, but I would make him eat.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
would make him eat. And if there wasn't enough food, then I wouldn't eat. And I would just give it to Emmett because it was Emmett. Emmett had to eat. Yeah. So half of the time he was
That's
spending it on that.
so
Or
you
stuff
were
would,
starving so you would go to sleep like
yeah.
you would go to sleep hungry
Yeah. I would
while
eat
he was
like,
all cracked out.
yeah. I would eat like a bread or something and then go
yeah.
to
So
sleep.
we didn't have money to we didn't have money in the fridge. I mean, we
Yeah.
didn't have money for food for the
Yeah.
fridge. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we would they would eat whatever they could
Yeah.
while I was spending the money on drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, the drug.
Then I
And
Yeah.
yeah,
applied for food stamps and then it worked a little bit better
yeah, we would have money. We got
to get something.
the food stamps, and they would have
Mm-hmm.
money
But
to
the
eat.
money is because you were working.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
the money was because
what were you doing for work?
Yeah.
I was still in the clown business.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were doing the clown
Well,
business,
you
but
were funny as heck, huh? If
I
you're all meth.
nah, I
Or
don't
did it kill
know.
your game?
I don't know. I feel like at times I wasn't. I think it wasn't. And I mean, it wasn't affecting business, but I think in the long run, if I would have kept doing the business while I was high, I think it would have
Really, really messed up.
would have messed up.
Did
Yeah.
you
Wow.
lose grasp of like who you were, like who Eder was?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
at that time was I didn't know what I was anymore. Throughout this time, from the time maybe where I was in high school, junior year to this point, I was suppressing my feelings. I was suppressing me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with me. So I obviously just I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
So
I've
what
had
didn't you want to
friends
deal
who've
with?
been like on like they were on uh Adderall from like an early age. Their parents put them on like Ritalin
Mm.
and like Adderall, and then after college, like they got off. And it's kind of like the same thing in the sense of like they don't know how to process emotion. So it's like they were a specific person throughout that time, and now that they don't have like a drug like masking, obviously Adderall's a smaller version of meth, but it's still meth in a sense. Um, they struggle with trying to process like emotions,
Oh,
like who
Yeah.
they.
Yeah.
It's like you're finding yourself
oh,
all over, like
Yeah.
we're
all
gonna
over again. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that.
yeah,
We're gonna get to that part
okay,
Yeah.
where
So like in between this time, he would go to all the cabinets, any cabinets in the house, anything that were things were stored, where clothes was, anything, and he would take it all out. Everything was out. Like computers, he would take them apart and not know how to put them back together. I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone because he would just go all crazy on it. Like he'll start like getting all like, who is this? And there were random spam emails and stuff. So yeah. So I couldn't look at people like me and you making eye contact. That would
we're
automatically
not
send
making eye
something
contact.
hey, just
to
making
him.
sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Eder
Yeah.
always be like, "Don't look at her.
Yeah.
Don't look at
Or me moving my hands a certain way, like right now, he would think that was like I was already
Sending me like you were
Yeah.
I was
sign language.
yeah,
and,
Yeah.
like
No,
I'm already
not
doing
even-
something.
Not
Yeah.
even sign language. Steal a base.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He would think that I was with somebody, that I was with that person or stuff like that.
Wow.
Our bed was on the floor. He would think somebody was under it. He would go on the roof and think people were up there. He would go outside, all the windows. Like he would think because I would hide my lovers everywhere, and they were really fast.
And so what
They
was
disappeared really quickly.
what was your mindset? Like, you having Emmett to think to like protect and be with, and then Eder just not being there for you. Like, how would you deal with it?
I think because like you truly love somebody,
Mm.
you're not willing to take no for an answer. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't willing to take no for an answer at that time, and sad to say, I wasn't really paying attention to what Emmett's feelings. I did try to guide him in a lot of the things and cover up a lot of the things. So, like playtime and stuff like that. That's what I would keep him distracted with and try to make light of the situation or be like, oh, daddy's sick right now. Like, so he never fully like knew. He
Yeah.
did see some of the instances where he would be like with knives and stuff. So we would wake up and it was dark and he would just be standing over the bed and looking at us. And I remember one night just waking up and I'm like, he's going to kill us one day.
Yeah.
And after that, I would wake up and I'll be like, oh my gosh, thank God I'm alive today. But I wouldn't sleep. So there was like, I would sleep for an hour or two, make sure he was still there and go back and try to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
off and on. And I remember one time I was like, oh, I'm going to hit him with a pan. Maybe that would help him go to sleep. I hit him. Nothing happened.
You're not like a cartoon.
No,
You
she-
hit him
works
with the
on-
pan?
It works on
She-
Bugs
I thought it would
Bunny.
work.
It works
Hey,
on Bugs
so you hit
Bunny.
him with the pan and what happened?
Nothing.
happened.
He was just like, do it again.
No, like
I'm
yeah.
like,
when,
"No,
when
I'm
this
okay."
happened, I think I was like on my 4th day of
Yeah.
just being up.
He was
and,
just
What is the story of like you just standing in the corner?
oh, that story.
Oh, that's the one.
So, Norma and Emmett, I think they were asleep, and I was hearing voices. Like
Is this because you've just been up for
yeah,
days?
I think I was up like 3rd, 4th day. After the 3rd,
Dang.
4th day being on those broken windows, how my people
Yeah.
call it.
Keep in mind, people, try staying up for 2 days straight, sober. You
Yeah,
like it
messes
feels
up
a
your
little,
mind.
and then imagine being on drugs and doing that.
Yeah.
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 No,
Like-
it wasn't fun. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't fun, but it's funny because yeah, that's a whole different story. But that day, I think I was on my 3rd or 4th day. I would always get that way. On 3rd or 4th day, that's where like I hadn't
It was the
slept
worst,
for
yeah.
for a while, and I completely like it was at night, and I could see Norma talking to someone. Mind you, she's sleeping. So she's breathing differently. So it's like, oh, she's breathing differently. She must be talking to somebody, like on a hidden phone that she
Yeah.
has
While she was sleeping.
while she was sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
mind, I could see her mouth, like her lips move, like burly, and it. So I got up. I grabbed some knives from the kitchen, the biggest knives we had, and I was standing because the whole story was that she was talking to somebody to let them into the house
Why would she want to do that though in
Be-
your mind?
to
Because she has lovers to him, right?
yeah to
Yeah.
me she
Yeah.
has
Oh.
all these people that
Do you think it was subconsciously because that's what you had been doing to her?
I think so, most likely, probably that's
That's
exactly
and that's what I mean of like you being like having this like in the back of your mind thought of like I'm not good enough, so you make her not
That was one
you know
of
what
his
I mean?
biggest fears.
yeah, no, definitely that's
Of not being good enough.
Hmm.
yeah
And
so
me cheating on him.
that
That's
the
his
big
biggest,
the cheating her cheating on me was
Yeah, that's the
that's
biggest.
always been like the
one of the
biggest thing.
biggest. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because it's honestly because of that. It's just the
Yeah.
guilty conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and at that time it was like magnified times 10 because
Yeah.
I was on meth,
Yeah.
So it was magnified to like, ooh, like
He was so
I wanted to catch her
yeah.
because she was so perfect.
He wanted to catch me
I
in
wanted to catch her
something.
on something because again, she can't be this perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't be this crystal clear. She
Gotta find something. Got to.
Something had to.
Always.
She has to have
He
some
would-
dirt
He
somewhere.
would,
Somewhere.
There would be
And I
days
spent
where he was
days. I spent days,
Just-
nights scrolling through text messages,
Yeah.
looking
emails,
for something.
and text messages that never happened.
It's all
in
up
my-
here.
In
All
my
in his
mind,
head.
Just creating these stories up there.
so I would line up everything, just like this
Yeah.
night. I would have evidence, and when I came to her with the evidence, all my evidence was gibberish.
Wow.
Was nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing, bro. So that night, that's how it happened. I heard her say like, "Oh yeah, like hey, I'm gonna put you into the house like this, and just wait. We're gonna wait till he's asleep." So I think I just refilled that day. So I was like, ain't nobody going to sleep here. Boom. I it's
Not
My
today.
yeah, no, nah. I was like,
Yeah.
nope. Boom. I started, just cutting it up and snorted again. I'm like, boom. Like I was up. And I know like once I did it, I was gonna be up for the next 2 days, at least a day if my body didn't just break down. So I got up, went to the kitchen, got the biggest knife I've had. I was just standing next to the door with two big knives. And whoever would have came in, I was gonna
I'd say I remember you were telling it. And you were saying that like if anybody would have walked in,
anybody,
Yeah.
they were gonna
Yeah.
get
Wow.
sliced
anyone,
and diced.
Yeah.
Well, good thing,
anyone.
Norma. Norma, were
Yeah.
you still talking to your family at this time?
I was, and they kind of knew like
But
some
you
of the
weren't
things,
telling
but they
them.
weren't. I never told them in detail.
But so you
She's
never
always
talked to.
protected him.
So you never
Yeah,
talked
I
to
Yeah.
never wanted.
Yeah.
anybody about this.
Man.
No, I never wanted him to look a certain way.
So for a lot of people, this right here is the first time
This is the first time they're
they'll
hearing it.
ever hear
Yeah.
what went down in the
So
house.
in those instances, like the craziest times, he would do random body checks.
I remember this.
This
Body
Mhm.
check. This
oh
what we in
man,
county?
this is, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
kinda,
No.
bro.
On me.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? I thought you meant like looking for other bodies. No, you
No,
talking
no,
about
no,
her?
no.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean body check?
Listen,
Looking for
hey,
bodies?
I've never been
Like-
in county, all right? I've never been
I
in county.
mean-
Yeah. So there would be things like that. There was one night he completely messed up all my clothes, like my underwear, everything. Everything was gone. Like he ripped it up, he bleached it, and the next morning he felt really bad about it.
What was
the-
hold on? What was you said a story like that? What was that the bleached one where
Yeah, that
you
was
ended
the
up
bleach one.
The story
Yeah.
was in my head that she left that day, obviously, because she was trying to protect them. Thank God
Yeah,
she
I
did.
left.
So she
'cause he
left
was going
with
crazy.
her family or with Francisco, I think, right?
Yeah, I did.
You left with one of them, which
Yeah, I
is
did.
the best decision you could have done.
Yeah. So
And
he would pick me up sometimes.
Francisco.
Francisco would pick me
Yeah.
up,
I was-
and yeah,
okay.
he would pick me up, and because I would call him, and I would be like, "Hey, you know what? This," and I think that was one of Emmett's birthdays, right? The next day was Emmett's birthday.
Yeah, it was within that week.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I was like, okay, like I can't be here right now. So I went. He picked me up. I went to my mom's house. We did like a little cake. He wasn't there. Um, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I completely missed my son's birthday. I was third birthday.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's one that is like it always hits me hard. Where like they had to FaceTime me for me to see that. I was so high. Like the only thing I was thinking about like who bought him the cake. It must have been the freaking lover, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guy with the money,
Yeah.
the guy that's
Yeah.
The guy
you
with
know
the money.
the one that's filming the video.
The
Yeah.
ones-
Because
Who's
He
behind the
can't come out
camera?
and
yeah, because everybody's looks very happy without me. So everything was just negative.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, that was one of them where
he didn't even like was like, oh, let me see Emmett or anything. He was like, put the camera on you to make sure I was there, like to make sure that where I was. And I was like, okay. And I remember hanging up with him, and I started crying. And then Francisco comes and he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, he didn't even ask for him. And then I was just like, oh, God, like, when is this gonna end?
Yeah.
So he would always be like, it's okay, like it's gonna be fine. And he invited me to a wedding the next day, and we went. It was fun, but I didn't want to go. And then what happened?
so I was like she completely I thought like, well, she didn't come back home. She must have spent the night with that guy's house, her lover, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Like she had all this clothes. I'm like, all right, cool. She's not gonna play me. She wants to play me. She's gonna have to buy different clothes. So I started every
Yeah.
single garment that she had, every piece of clothes that she had, socks, underwear, bras, skirts, pants, shirts, everything she had. I went through, cut it up, and I bleached it.
He gets really sad because, like, I remember getting home and I was like, "Oh my gosh," and it made me kinda upset, but when I saw, like, her wedding dress, that's when I was like, "Oh," and I didn't wanna make him feel bad either, so I was like, "It's okay, don't worry about it, it's fine." So I just started, like, picking up
Wow.
everything and I threw it in the trash. He's like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." Like, "It's okay, it's fine, let's just keep going." And I cooked some dinner and then he's like, "We'll go get you some stuff tomorrow." I was like, "It's fine, don't worry about it."
So when did you feel bad? Are you still on meth when you feel bad? No, right? Or you're like coming
He's
down?
coming
I'm gonna
down.
calm down, and
Mhm.
it's just with this drug is just a mix of emotions. You're like pissed in like 1 minute, the other you're feeling sorry for yourself, and then the next you're asking for forgiveness of everything you did.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that was the routine. So it was like, oh, he did all this crazy stuff and then he'd be like, "I'm sorry." Crazy stuff, "I'm sorry." And the "I'm sorries" were a little bit better because the days would be good. It was just getting back to those days and having the sorries again and starting it all over again because you knew the next day it was going to be probably the
Mm.
same thing again.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
I mean,
toughie.
it's crazy
That's a
just because
toughie.
I mean, I just see how God's like that with us, you know what I mean?
He is.
"Oh, you messed up, sorry. Oh, okay, let's try it
It's
again," you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's like relentless
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's like in the flesh, not
yeah.
only Christ, but I'm like, "Norma,
So throughout all
Norma."
this time, like I didn't know it was God. Like he was speaking to me during those things because he kept showing me a picture of us near like a nice tree. Because I would keep when is this gonna end? When is this gonna
Mhm.
end? When is it gonna get there?
Yeah.
Like and that picture kept coming up and I know that was God like trying to give me the strength to keep on going.
Mhm.
So, so one night he actually calls the cops on me
Oh, yeah.
because calls the cops because I bit him in the arm because he was trying to grab me and I bit him. Um, he
I
calls the cops.
I cannot
Like
believe it.
he's like they're gonna take you away.
Yeah, so
Or
we're
biting me.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're arguing and fighting, I was cuz again, I was using for the whole week or whatever that 3rd, 4th day was 5th day, and um we're arguing, and I just grabbed her, and I honestly thank God that I never lay like a hand on her,
Yeah.
like
yeah, yeah,
to beat her or anything. I know people are gonna comment on it where, like emotional like abuse.
Abuse.
It's
Yeah.
it's 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 a lot worse sometimes. Or it is. Both of them are equal.
yeah. They are.
Um, I don't condone that at all. But I do thank God that gave in the midst of all this craziness, I knew not to do that. I thank God for that
Yeah.
because I don't know how I could ever forgive
Yeah.
myself for that. You know, I know God's forgiven me, and it's been a lot a lot of work to get to where we are now, as in mentally
Yeah,
and it just in our hearts to where like I'm able to forgive myself for the stuff I did to Norma because I know I was a punk.
Mhm.
I know I was not a great human, and it took a long time for me to get here,
Mhm.
and it's just it's sad. It's sad, and like kind of like will you ask Norma, would you ever go and do that again, right? Would you wait for him? Something like the question you asked at the beginning. Like if you would ask me that, I don't know. Like I don't want to ever put her through that and Emmett again.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
it's just it was hell. I really put her and Emmett through hell, and it's not I'm not proud of it. I'm not like I we talk about it now, but man, it's been a while where like we actually give out the whole full story and the little details of it. And it's just it brings back memories. Like, man, I was such a a-hole,
Mm.
And it's not funny, because I know this is just our story. This is just part of our our story, but I know there's people out there that are going through the same thing
Right
right
now.
now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks. There's someone out there right now that is going through hell. A husband putting their wife and children through hell, or vice versa, the wife and
Yeah.
it's just that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so sad,
Mm-hmm.
that that's happening right now. And I think, and we're just one of the blessed one. I mean, everybody's blessed in this, in this world. God loves us and gives us grace, and I think we're just honestly like there's no such thing as luck. I don't think that I don't believe in that. I know
Mm-hmm.
there's blessings, and God has blessed us for a new start.
Yeah.
And when we were there, we didn't know we were gonna be here. So
Yeah.
talking about it now is just, we're cool with it. But it does get us to a point where it's like, man, I was such a punk.
But you know what? I mean, I think it's funny because we talked about this, and I remember saying this once on the podcast as well. Of like, you can't change the past, but you can change the ending. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And you say like, yeah,
I think I
it's.
said that.
I like how everybody's all like,
I
okay,
don't
yeah,
know.
like something that good would come out of your mouth. But
Do-
what I
I think
am
it's the right
saying
vice
was
versa.
you
this.
guys said it.
Okay,
You both
thing.
said it. Yeah, somehow.
Okay, but what I was trying to say was this is just kind of like you said like it's horrible, right? And it's something that you're not even sure if you can do it again, right? Or if you would want to put her through
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
But I say, and it's so funny because you were talking, it's so crazy because you living through it, like, man, it was hell,
yeah,
right? And I'm thinking like, it's such a beautiful story. It's
yeah.
such a
It is.
beautiful,
Well, I mean,
man, and I'm not saying
yeah,
that it's like beautiful in like a, oh, we all wish this for our daughters or our sons, you know what I mean, or our grandkids. Like, it's not something you wish upon someone, but it's just life. And it's crazy how through darkness comes beautiful things. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yes.
Like it's the rose coming out of the concrete. You
yeah,
know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's pushing through. But it's worth it when it's taken so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you like,
yeah,
and you know what? And something I admire of you guys in your relationship, how much you love Norma,
That's
because
right.
I see how much he
Mm,
cherishes you, and I see how much
he
he
does.
just looks at you and he's just like, oh my, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is because of everything she went through for
Yeah.
you, you know what I mean? But it's just you and how you, not because you could totally be like, I'm grateful for you, babe, but you know what? I kind of want to hit one right now, just a little, but it's it's all of that made it worth it. You know what I mean? And I say it because I see Christ. I see Christ, and he's like, I do it again. The cross, I do it
Do it
again.
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do it again for you, for you, you know what I mean? And that's what makes the gospel so horrible yet so
mhm,
beautiful, because it was the end. Because trust
Mhm.
me, it wasn't beautiful, and everyone that's going through it right now, or people that are going through a tough time right now, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
not easy. And
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell them, hey, it's gonna be okay. No, nobody
It's
cares about
not.
that, because at
Yeah.
the
They
end of
don't
the
want to
day,
hear
it's like,
that.
dude, do you know what I'm going through right now? Like, this is,
Yeah.
you don't wish this, you don't
Yeah.
wish it upon anyone.
you
But
don't.
same way, Christ didn't wish it upon anyone.
Yeah,
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
He
It was
took it
hard
upon
for him. It
himself.
was horrible. Yeah.
yeah,
But it's ugly, and the trenches, and oh my goodness, and he was scared.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that was the most beautiful gift he got. And at the end of the
Yes.
day, he got the most beautiful gift he can on
But
this
I
earth.
yeah,
think we need a preface. Like, it's only beautiful because there was some change. Like,
Yeah.
Eder never changed.
Oh,
Like,
of course.
like you don't need to go through this.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you where it kind of went all crazy. But
Oh,
anyways,
that wasn't crazy yet.
no,
nah,
it
that's
gets worse.
Wow.
That was just the beginning.
Um,
So part 2.
yeah, so there was one night where he was just having one of his moments, and he would always attempt trying to kill himself. I think the first time was with a bottle of pills. Like he took all the pills and he was gonna go to sleep, but I woke him up and tried to make him throw up and stuff, and then the next night he got one of the extension cords, the orange thick ones, and then he tried to hang himself on the shower in the shower curtain. The shower was metal, so
Oh, I
he
was
can
like,
yeah. It didn't
bro,
have a
not
like
stick.
I'm like the shower curtain upstairs. If you just hit it, it just falls over. I'm like,
No.
like,
It's
what?
the one that it's a complete metal frame and you
Yeah,
have
it's a
the
metal
sliding
frame.
doors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
thing they
It was
build
very
it. They
durable.
Oh, those things are durable.
Bro, they build it really
Like you
well.
can do pull-ups on those things.
Whoever built that little place and
They were
hey,
very durable.
they did good.
Yeah. So that night he was just like, "Oh, I'm done," and stuff like that. Like, okay. Me and Emmett were sitting in the room, watching TV, and the room and the bathroom are so close together. You can hear everything because it's such a tiny space. And that night I was really just done with everything. Like I didn't want anything to do with him anymore. Like I didn't want anything. And I could hear him gasping for air. And even at that moment that I'm sitting down, I'm like, I don't care anymore. He should just die. Like, I'm willing right now to let him die because I just don't care. I don't want to be here right now. And I think for me, it was such a dark place that I found myself because I wasn't willing to get up for him. And I remember a voice saying, I didn't know it was God. So, and now I know it was God. I remember a voice saying, you need to get up now or he's going to die. And I'm like, I don't care if he dies. I don't care. Like, I don't care about anything right now. And once that voice said it, I got up all mad. I'm like, damn, get up. I got up and I got him down. He was like all purple. And I was like, you're really letting Emmett watch you like this? And man, I got Emmett out of the bathroom and then we went back to sit down. And then the next morning, I was like, I was willing to let somebody else die. And I was like, okay, no, now I'm at a point where I'm not going to be that person. And I got up the courage and I told them, I was like, let's go to a walk. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to this restaurant right here. We got some chickens and we sat down. And I told them very calmly, very relaxed. I was like, you know what? I can't be with you right now. I'm not going to go with anybody else. I can't be with you. I was willing to let you die. And for me, I don't want to be that. That's not the person I want to be. And he was like, okay. And he's like, I promise I will change. I was like, whether or not you do, I mean, it's completely up to you. But, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to give me counts. Do it for yourself. Because I'm not going to be there. He's like, just stay this one time. And I'm like, fine, whatever. He like begged and I was like, all right, whatever. This is the last time. We went back home and I was a total zombie. Like I was not myself. Like I wasn't laughing anymore. I was just going through the motions. Mm. It felt like I wasn't there. Like I was on autopilot. So then those couple of days, that's when Kevin came back, right?
Yeah. Kevin was in town from Georgia.
Yeah.
Um, so can I just go a little bit off from your story?
Oh yeah.
What the moment that got me to that point? Um, talking about Kevin, he's gonna get you some
Aww.
Kleenex.
Thank you.
Thanks, Santa Claus.
Thank you. The Christmas story. Um, but, thank you. Just with that story of the last. This is this is the time where now I understand is God, and then this is why we're so crazy for God now
Because he was there the whole time.
we understand that it was all God at the end.
Yeah.
And this story right here, this is where, for me, this is one of the biggest stories.
Sorry, Kevin is in the background pointing at him.
He's gonna-
Because he's part of it.
Because he's part of this big story. It's funny because he's part of this big story. Yes, we're gonna get there, Kevin. We're gonna get there. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the stories. That's where the everything changed. And I want to just go with it because this was one of the days where I knew in my heart that Emmett and Norma would be better without me. I said, I've tried killing myself 2-3 times. It hasn't worked. But this time around, I'm gonna do it right. Because the devil will
You're
corner
gonna
you.
do what right?
I was gonna kill myself.
Oh, you're gonna do it like
Yeah.
you're gonna do it now.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna do it for
Yeah.
sure. I tried the pills, didn't work.
What kind of pills did you take?
Advil.
Yeah. Oh,
It was
man.
a whole
We're-
bottle.
we're- we're
It was a
gonna-
whole bottle of Advil.
Okay, well,
We had bought the 2 packs.
But this is
He took them all.
the big boy Costco
Yeah.
big boy.
Yeah.
Like
He took them all down.
Whatever the cost, whatever the amount that
Mhm.
was, 200, 300 pills.
No.
Yeah. He took them all.
The big one, like whatever they sell in Costco,
Yeah.
is the big one.
2 of those?
Yes.
Whatever.
Those were 200 milligrams, each, and he took the whole thing.
I downed them with beer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't throw them up?
I threw up,
I got him up, made him throw up
but I was
when I saw because he hid the bottles,
that was yeah.
and I found them, and then that's when because he went and he laid down, tried to go to sleep, and I got him up and I took him to the restroom
Yeah,
and made
so
him
I
throw up.
I was really high at that time. So like I was on high meth again, and I drank the bottles of Advil, and it was a lot of them. It was no
Yeah.
joke,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
don't,
wasn't. I
again.
know. He took 1 or 2. No, he
Nah.
took the whole
No,
thing.
it was not the little thing.
We
It
had
was,
just recently came
Not the
from
little
Costco.
travel size at the gas station.
No,
This
no.
is the
Menstrual
Costco
cramps.
family pack.
Yeah, the
big
family
boys.
cat.
It was a 2. I don't know.
Yeah, it
We
was
had
2.
of 'em.
Yeah.
We got them, and I drank those. But that's that's one of the stories where I know it's God, because I know other people that do less than that, and they
Yeah.
pass away.
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those, where God put his hand in, no, not today, and the story that Norm was talking about, me hanging myself, is the one that, again, it's one of the most powerful ones in our testimony, I think, where um, I just wanted to do it right, and I grabbed this extension cord and I took it to the restroom, and I I knew that that today was gonna be the day, and I wrapped it around my neck 4 or 5 times, made a knot, wrapped it around, made another knot. It was a 100-foot extension cord, bro.
Yeah.
Can I bring a little humor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that your neck is ticklish. Was this before or after? Or have you always been ticklish with your neck?
I've always been ticklish.
Okay. Because I was trying to figure out, like,
No, I've always been ticklish.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and so random.
That is so
'Cause
random.
in my head, I'm just
Very
thinking,
random.
like, I know how sensitive it is.
Yeah,
Like, you're
yeah.
just like, so I wasn't
Mhm.
sure if it had to do with after that.
No. no. I've always been ticklish.
Okay.
So going back to that story, guys. Uh, that, so I wrapped it around a couple of times. I knew that was the time. Like I was drunk and high, and I was gonna kill myself. And I honestly thought that I was gonna die. So I don't remember. I don't remember passing out. So this time
Do
she's.
you remember making up in your mind like, okay, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
die today?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That I grabbed the extension cord, drove it. I was crying, and I knew that I wanted to die, and I wrapped it around. Like I said,
And throughout
multiple
this, you're
times.
like watching him do this,
Yeah.
No,
No, I'm
she's
hearing
no.
him.
but like you know what he's doing.
Yeah, because he was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving this world." And he was just talking. He was just talking. I was like, "Yeah, go do it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna stop you. Go."
yeah.
That's what I was saying things back to him. I was so mad, and he was yelling back. We were yelling back and forth, and then that's when
Did you think
he.
he was gonna do it?
It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
At that time, it was.
It didn't.
I,
It really. I'm
You
telling
were
you,
just you were done.
I was so completely. I was in a really dark place because I was not like I didn't care.
yeah. So I didn't know that that was going through her mind at that time. I didn't. In my head, I was like, I don't really care about anything. You
And
know.
her saying that, you're just like, it's just
Okay,
done
cool.
then.
Then
Yeah.
I really don't matter in this
Yeah.
world, and it's not
Mhm.
her fault.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that was just honestly, it was the devil working through everyone. Through everything that was going on. He was placing everything I needed to hear for me to just give up on life. And when they say that the devil's here to kill, steal, and destroy,
Destroy. He sure is.
it's no lie.
Mhm.
That's no lie, and we're living proof of that. And that day, that what it was. I don't remember losing um conscious. All I remember was when I was down on the floor, she put a bucket of cold water in my face, and I woke up. But see, throughout this time, I always tell her, like, how people always say,
Like you see glimpse.
it's you see glimpse or flash your life flash in front of you. I promise you, that's what happened to me. That's it was so fast. I don't know. I lost consciousness, and it was like a movie, trailer, pow, pow, like a flash, like pow, 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 pow. And it was the craziest thing because all the little flashes were of us smiling, of like happiness. It was all happiness of like Norma and I and Emmett, just us three. And then all of a sudden the flashes like stopped, and then it was a beautiful garden, just like grass, green grass, and a nice huge tree. It was huge, and
This ties into the tree.
Mm-hmm.
it was just a beautiful. It's just like the most beautiful thing, like movie scenery. You could see,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, I come back, and I
Mm-hmm.
see I'm laying on the floor, and I see Emmett on his diaper and Norma over me, and she's yelling at me, but I can't hear her. I don't know what she's saying, and all I could like from the flashes, all I could remember is Emmett. So I started screaming Emmett, like Emmett,
And at
Emmett.
that time, Emma wasn't in the restroom. I wanted to keep him in the room. So he kept calling him, and I kept telling him, shut up, because I didn't want Emmett to come in the bathroom. And then he kept screaming, and that's when Emmett came. And I'm like, really? Like, you're such tonto.
Yeah, that's what I was screaming out Emmett's name, and now I was like at that time I was like, okay, cool, like I'm in the floor, nothing happened, thank you,
He just got up, went to bed, and went
and
to
like
sleep.
nothing happened.
And I was like, are you
And then we had to
serious?
talk. We had this talk in the morning,
Did
Yeah.
you feel loud?
So then we
Yeah.
talked in the
That's when we
morning,
talked in the morning.
and she let me know that she couldn't do it,
Mm-mm.
and there was
And I
enough,
told him I loved him
and it
and
was enough,
everything.
and then
Mm-hmm.
something clicked.
Mm-hmm.
But see, going back to that, like at the end of the day, this is not Norman Eder's
Mm-mm.
story.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
This is God's story.
Yeah.
This is a story that the glory may be to Him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I tell Norma and every single person we tell this story here right now that I was about 195, 200 pounds at that time. I'm like 215 now. Way heavier.
Yeah.
So it took this little woman right here.
I was always this short.
to live
I know,
dead, like
195.
dead.
Yeah.
I
You
ra-
weren't
and
215 then.
no, I was
Mm.
like
I was like, how
one,
you gonna be
one,
215 on meth?
He just said
like
195.
195.
105.
You were still that heavy?
Oh yeah, because I would
Yeah.
eat
I
after.
thought you were like tweaked. Like
He
What
would
are you
eat
trying to
after
say?
he would
Yeah.
be on.
She said
Calm
she
down.
made him
so
eat.
you'd bulk
Yeah,
up.
Yeah, so I would just grab.
I would make him eat.
So the whole point of that is
He
that
would eat even if he didn't want to eat.
the
I would
whole
shove it
point
down
of
his
that
throat.
would be that I know for a fact
Dang, how'd you pick him up?
I have no
she-
idea. I was
she-
really pissed.
You had to pick him like
I had to
I
lift him
was
up.
I was passed out. I was, I guess, dead. I always say this, like I don't know.
I had to.
I don't know
Can-
from the
I had
time.
to
how did
literally
you-
lift him up.
I don't know from the time that I passed out to the time she lifted me. I don't know
Wow.
how much time passed.
Yeah.
I lost track of time. For me, it was like this.
So as soon as
Hang
I
on. A
lift
flash.
him up,
how
his
did you
body
do it?
just
Can I
fell
ask that?
like
Yes.
a fish.
How did you?
I don't know.
No,
It
no.
was
How
all
did you
God.
hang yourself?
Um,
Oh, okay. Well, I took the extension cord.
I don't think we want to talk
Oh,
about
sorry.
that on the
I'll ask
podcast.
you off air
Yeah.
because
I
I'm just trying.
I don't
Because
think
I'm
we
just
want to
yeah.
talk about
Okay.
that in the
All right.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah,
We shouldn't.
telegraph.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just, I think I did talk about it.
We did a little bit, but we don't
not the
want to get.
details.
Yeah.
Not in detail. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think it's best.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's just. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just excited to share God's glory. And you know
No,
what I mean.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
At the
God
end of the
is
day,
good.
it's all God. And
Yeah.
she was able to take off the extension cord off my
Yeah.
neck and
Got him down.
got me down. I don't know how she did it. Physically I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it's all God.
Mhm.
Because even now she can't
Mhm.
lift me up.
Mhm.
And mind you, I was dead weight on an extension
Yeah.
cord. I was dead
Dead
weight.
Yeah.
Like 100 pounds dead weight is heavy.
yeah.
So it
Yeah,
was,
because I remember his body just flopped like down. Like he
Mhm.
couldn't even stand up or nothing.
That
He
is, that
didn't
is so
he didn't
crazy.
sit up or anything. He just flopped.
You know how you know what it's like when I remember in grade school we would try to pick each other up and you could pick someone up and then
Yeah.
you're just like you drop your weight
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then like you can't even pick up 100-pound girl. You're just like what? It's that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
especially like I was.
Yeah.
That's why this story for me is like, I know
That was all God.
All the other stuff was God too, but for me it was like, to me this is the one that is like, man,
Miracle.
like it's complete miracle to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And it used Norma,
Adrenaline.
and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, she picked me up. She was able to pick me up, take the cord off that I wrapped like 20 times around my neck, and
I mean, I would want to say I was willing. I was.
but God, used you at that
It's
time.
not.
So
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it just
he
like
did.
when you saw him it was just like
He was purple.
but I mean like you just like you
No.
didn't even struggle to pick him up. It was just boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah,
she
that's
didn't
crazy.
even. I mean, I like it when Norma says it. She's like, I was so mad. She goes, I
I
grabbed.
was. I was
She goes,
so
I grabbed the
mad.
water and just threw it in his face.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I just threw the. And I love it
just
because
kept-
she's so like angry, but
I
she's
kept
still
picturing
doing
how
it.
dumb he was and just like calling him all his names because I was just so irritated, like with his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just picked him up and I went back to watching TV. I kept telling him to be quiet because I didn't want Emmett over here. And then once Emmett got over here, I was like, "See, you dumb dumb. No, Emmett's over here now looking at you. That's how
Yeah.
you want him to see you." And I was like, "Emmett, go over there." Like, and that's when we went back into the room. He got up and then he went to sleep.
yeah, I don't. Everything she said,
Yeah, he doesn't remember.
I don't remember. I couldn't hear
Yeah,
her.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was just a gay, like
Wow.
like a dream, and then I just knocked
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it was, Kevin. There's where Kevin comes. Kevin came in.
Kevin, let's see.
Kevin came in
Yeah,
Oh, I
couple
thought
of
you were gonna
weeks,
walk.
couple of weeks from vacation, and
yeah. Mind you, at this time we were going to our pastor's church, and they were praying for us off and on. So they kind of knew like the situation. Before all this has happened, we had sat down and did like ¿cómo se llama?
Intervention
Intervention. We
Yeah.
did an intervention. That didn't work
with Eder.
with Eder.
Yeah.
And then everything else happened afterwards.
So then the pastors that you met,
Mhm.
I always get this confused. Kevin met them at a Bible study, and then you guys met them after
Yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
my dad and Kevin met them before
Met them before.
we did.
We met. Yeah,
And then when we came from Georgia,
that's when we met them.
we met them. But
And this was after
What?
you
Mhm.
this was after you tried to kill yourself.
Hold up.
No.
Kevin.
Okay.
This was before.
We
So
knew them beforehand.
Before.
You
So-
didn't. Oh, so she doesn't know about. You didn't know that. Oh, I thought you knew.
No. I didn't know that Kevin was the one who brought you guys to church.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
He
Kevin-
brought them
wait.
to
Going
7th Street,
So
right?
Kevin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin found out that our pastors were at 7th Street. And they're like, hey, guys, we should go and stuff like that. And we were like, nah, like, we don't want to go.
We
Like,
weren't all about like no
yeah.
Christianity
We're
or
like,
religion.
and he told us what time we had to get up. And we're like, we're not getting up early. Like,
We just
we're
can't-
making up
yeah.
all the excuses.
Yeah.
And then Kevin's like, no, for real, like it's close by. Like, and Eder told him, he's like, if you find the address, we'll go. But Eder was like,
I was being
hopefully
sarcastic.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was.
I was like, he's not gonna find
He
it.
was.
When Kevin tells the
Yeah.
story, he's like, he didn't know where he found it. He
He
didn't know
found
where
it,
they were
yeah.
gonna be at.
He didn't. And he found it. And we woke up and we're like, oh, if we wake up, we'll go. We woke up.
We woke up
actually.
early too.
Yeah, we
Oh
woke up early.
my.
We went to church, and that's when Jesus completely did whatever he needed to do at that time.
What?
We
Kevin.
completely we gave ourselves
Yeah.
to Jesus that day.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Who would have known?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the plug right there.
yeah.
That is.
That's
what I
why
mean?
Jesus puts the right people in your life to make sure all the moves are
Wow.
made.
Gets
Hey, Kevin's
insane.
always the right person, huh?
Hey.
Mhm.
Ladies.
Yeah, it's one of
Mhm.
those, it's crazy because I didn't want to go, she didn't want to go. I was sober about 3-4 months before this happened,
You-
but
I
it
never,
wasn't.
I didn't
helping.
know that the pastors that you guys knew. I thought all that happened after you tried to kill yourself. I didn't know they knew you like during that time
Yeah, they
period.
knew us
I didn't
during-
know that.
Throughout,
Yeah.
like they knew us and they would always be there
Yeah.
for us. They would
Yeah.
like Norma would talk to them. Norma would go visit their church.
Yeah.
And West Covina.
Yeah.
And this is
Wait, what?
is right.
Yeah, I would go by myself.
So this
sometimes.
is-
Oh,
West
hey guys,
Covina?
hold on.
Yeah.
She doesn't know this.
So
It was-
this pastors,
was in-
it was Pam and Aaron.
Yeah.
And Pam is sisters of Israel.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Which
yes,
is
yes.
but he
Israel's-
didn't know Israel.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Israel. So Israel's a good friend of ours now.
Yeah, we
It's a-
didn't
he's
meet him
fa-
to
he's
just
a compadre,
recently.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I didn't know Israel. We didn't know Israel. We it's funny because he put went off topic, but he put a video of Pam's birthday a while back,
Yeah, we're there.
and we're there. He's filming it,
Yeah.
and
And we didn't even know that Israel was there.
And
We're
we
like, oh my
didn't-
God.
That is
It was one of those
hilarious.
videos, but
That was
yeah,
funny.
Israel's a cool cat
Uh-huh.
with his family, the Marinas. Hi guys,
Uh-huh.
we love you guys.
That's when we gave ourselves to Jesus.
Yeah,
that
so
day.
that day, first Sunday we came to that service. I
Yeah.
remember like it was yesterday. And even though they knew, like the pastors Pam and Aaron knew our
They wanted
dirt,
it so bad. They
or,
knew.
like they knew our dirt,
yeah.
but they would always receive us with open arms
Yeah.
and with a smile on their face, and they were always like so like warm to us.
Mhm.
And I didn't get it. And then that day they did the same thing, and dude, it was just it God had a way to just place
Everything
everything
correct.
correctly.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we
Yeah, they're
missed.
beautiful people. I met them
Amazing.
once.
They're
and
amazing people.
They're
Oh,
so beautiful.
I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we want to bring them over.
Yeah.
Their testimony is powerful.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. So like I'm not gonna steal
Wait, this is a
anything
sister?
from them.
This is a
This is
sister
Israel's
that's
sister.
that's no longer living here, right?
Yeah.
No, she's in
She's in
Mexico.
Mexico.
They're
There
in
you
Mexico.
go.
They're in
yeah, yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
Where in Matehuala.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hey.
So yeah, they were a big part of next to Kevin, helping us get
Our
plugged
lives,
in
yeah.
into church. And I always like to say this, where it's like that Sunday we went to church. The following Sunday we didn't go to church. We couldn't go to church because we didn't have any gas
Mhm,
money.
mhm.
But I told Norma, hey, this is the last Sunday we're ever gonna miss in church ever. And
That has been the only Sunday we've ever missed.
and that's been the only Sunday. And it's
Wow.
like we don't say it to boast.
No.
You know,
Yeah,
we
no,
don't
no,
say it
no.
to like, oh look at
What's
how many-"
everyone else's excuse?
You know?
No, 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 no,
not
no.
even
Football.
I didn't say that.
I'm like,
That was
hands
a
off
joke.
of that.
It's
Yeah.
football.
No, but it's like for us, it's like, man, like
We can't.
But
we
you
don't-
need the community.
we need
you
it.
have to. And at the
Yeah.
end
But-
of the yeah.
But if you like think like looking back at your story, like in Georgia, you had a like Norma was always there. You were busy doing something. It was when you came back where like no community. It was just like
Mhm.
these people came into your life and you didn't really have anybody. Norma wasn't. I'm sure if Norma was there when that was there, she would have been looking like you. I highly doubt you would have done it.
Yeah,
You know
of
what I mean?
course, definitely. Yeah,
And so like the community essentially helps you like keeps you accountable. It's like,
It does.
okay.
Yeah.
And the
yeah.
more responsibility you get, you're like, I can't. Like,
And that's why
yeah.
at our church, man, it's
And it's
like
amazing.
don't do life alone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we understand that
And
because we were alone
the
and
importance of it.
in a long period of this story. It was just Norma, Emmett, and myself.
Mhm.
That's it. And then it would be, whenever she would go to her family, she'll get that support there. But when she came back home, it was just us three again,
Mhm.
and we were alone. We didn't have a community
Yeah.
where and it's not their fault. It's just because I
Yeah.
wanted to keep them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. There's a lot of people that tried coming in and helping us that are, and it's not even, they tried their best, but at the end of the day, it's like I was the one that's pushing them away. Like, we don't need you. We don't need none
Mhm.
of that. Whatever. Get away from my family. I got this. So, but community is very important, and if you're struggling out there today, with drug addiction and suicide thoughts, Angel's gonna put the numbers, wherever
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
please
You're not alone.
please contact somebody. You
Yeah.
could,
Mhm.
DM us, please. Like, don't do it alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
Don't you
Yeah.
trust me? You're not alone. So, like, we're gonna leave them somewhere here or wherever Angel decides to put it. But please, like I encourage you to reach out to someone. Whether it would be someone from church, whether it be your parents or just anyone that you trust and believe in. And you know what? We're open books here. If you
Mhm.
ever want to like come in and share with us, hey, we encourage you to do it. Please DM us. We'll leave our links like on the bottom of this
Yes.
page.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we have no judgment here,
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Trust me, this is we've talked for about 2 hours plus now, but this is just a small thing of
Yeah.
of what we went through and
Yeah.
wanted to share it because I think it's the importance of what God can do through others,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
also what God can do through you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like God is waiting for you to
Yes.
to meet that person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So again, we encourage you from the bottom of like Norma's heart and my heart, our
Yes.
family, and this podcast, FloVation. Honestly, just
Yes.
we encourage every person.
Yes.
If you're dealing with an addiction, depression, suicide thoughts, please call these numbers. Please, please, like
Yeah.
we urge you to do that. Um, I'm sorry, I just felt like I needed to do that. It's just I
Um,
needed to
It's all
uh
good.
how
I,
dare you put those numbers on there? Like,
right. No,
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 like,
it's just
yeah, it's
You
important.
know
it's
who did the organization for his intervention? My
I
uncle.
thought you were gonna say Kevin. I was like,
No, my
dang, Kevin,
uncle.
I was
dog.
Yeah.
like,
Like,
dude,
My
this guy.
uncle took him to his
is this the
house. He
uncle that
took
you
him
were
to
dancing with?
no, no, no.
No,
This
no, no.
Oh,
that
look
would
at
have
you.
been
That's
crazy.
another
That's another
uncle.
uncle, Tony, cool cat,
Yes.
dude. He
His family opened
he
his doors.
to me when I
He
was
had his children and he brought them over and took him to his first day.
Wow.
And then he escaped the very next
I
day.
escaped. I only
Stood
it
there for a bit.
yeah.
When
Mm.
you guys were talking, sorry, it reminded me of a story that I had when I was like 19, 20. When we were talking about like when you bought the bad what you thought was meth and it was coke, and you're like, you don't get refunds from drug dealers. I was like, why does this remind me of a story? It's like, oh, I know something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then Jesus saved us. And then
How long you been sober?
6 years.
thank God. That's all Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
So
some
within
Are some
that
days harder than
process,
or some yeah.
some days, yeah.
Some days can get a little harder, man.
But he would call me now. He
So
would call me.
again, community,
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, hey, I got it under control 1000%. I know God has it and God's with me and 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 he has my back, but there's one couple of days where, man, I'm not like, how they say, I wake up on the wrong side of the bed or
Yeah.
whatever that. Yeah.
have you Have you drawn like a correlation to seeing like when it comes its strongest, like where you're at mentally or like where you're at in life?
Um, I
When you're
think
I'm
it.
just trying to
stressed.
think of like trying to help someone else out.
Yeah, I think when you're under uh s- more stress, like you were
Hmm.
saying, when you're alone,
Yeah. The
more
enemy
like
really
when you're
tries to get you
alone,
there.
that's where it happens, and it
Yeah.
happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, it happens to me when like I'm by myself. It
Mm.
won't happen anymore when I'm like it used to happen with like when I was around family or whatever. But now like it would try to get me when I'm like alone, driving, I'm stuck in
Yeah.
traffic, and I'm thinking about, man, I really gotta pay this bill. I need those extra hours at work or maybe I should start doing this more and I wanna wake up I should wake up a little earlier. So I'll create a whole story behind
Hmm.
this of why I would need this drug. But it's like that trigger right there,
You already know.
that triggers
Yeah.
Yeah, but
come
I
on.
mean, I think it's just that's a trigger for almost a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Health issue, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
always stress.
yeah.
So it's
So
just
Yeah.
learning how to cope with it, you know what I mean?
so that's where we come. So
Yeah.
when I'm feeling that way, guess what? Boom.
And loneliness too.
I call Norma right away. Hey, what are you doing? Like, hey, I'm not feeling so well, or I just need to hear her and she'll make me feel better and then I can continue. I'll call like if she doesn't pick up for she's busy, she's a busy mom, like I'll call somebody. I don't even have to tell them anything. All
Mhm.
I need is just someone to be there for that exact like
Now I
Mhm.
feel
minute,
bad
like
Yeah.
every time you've called and I didn't answer. I'm just
You
I
like
mean, I'm
should.
just I'm just saying, Nick, you know, you put your phone on airplane mode. It's
I
okay.
know.
And
I
And
feel bad.
that day might be the
Dang.
day.
I know. I was thinking about
Ah.
that. The
You know what
time
I
I
mean?
like the times that I put it like on do not disturb.
Yeah.
Like wow.
yeah,
It's all
that
right though.
happens.
Hey,
It's okay.
the
I
important
answer.
check this out. The important thing is that if you surround yourself with a community that loves you, that you love,
Yeah.
hey,
Someone
guess
will be
what?
there.
Everybody will
Someone
answer.
will
Guess
pick up.
what? You
Mhm.
didn't answer, but that's so hey.
Somebody answers.
Everybody has lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they
okay.
do.
So the next person's gonna
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You gotta be constant on the relationships
Mhm.
that you build around yourself and your family, because you never know when you might need them.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
vice versa. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Jesus,
guys.
from that point, Jesus just transformed our hearts. Everything. He just kind of restored our love for each other. He restored the way we talk to each
Well,
other.
you guys gotta actually like kind of like be in a relationship because before it was just like
Again, yeah, yeah, yeah. We
it's
were getting to know each other
yeah.
again, which was
Yeah, and
crazy. So,
it's funny
yeah.
because
What?
it's
Yeah.
funny because
It
we
was crazy because you started noticing like some of the stuff. So there was this one time that I always say this story, but anyways, we had just met Israel and
How
Janet.
long have you known them?
about the
Uh,
same time I've been sober, like
Oh, really?
about 4 or 5 years,
yeah,
about the same time.
yeah. So Janet went to go leave the kids, and then Israel had came, and I was sitting at the bench. I was by myself, and then Israel came, and he was by himself, and then he sat right next to me, and I
That's how
was
you
just
met
like,
them.
No,
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 no.
no,
Oh, I was like,
no, no,
This
no.
was all us already knowing them.
okay.
We already knew them, but it made me so uncomfortable
Mm.
because I was just like this, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to sit. I felt like
You feel that same way too sometimes? I know Israel makes me feel that way sometimes. Just playing.
no, it was me. It was me, and I felt weird because I'm like, why am I like feeling like this? You know. And then I went upstairs because he was doing sound, and then he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you feel weird right now?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, okay." And tell him why.
No,
Why?
and so I the other side of the story, I saw Norma, uh, like she was sitting down, and then Israel came and sat next to her. Not of because of anything. They were just it
Yeah, it
was an
was
empty
nothing.
spot, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Janet was
And
probably dropping
Janet was
out.
gonna come right
She was
now.
probably dropping off the kids at
Yeah,
Kid City,
yeah.
This
and
actually happened or is this like a
No, that
dream?
no,
happened.
this
Okay.
happened.
Okay.
So Israel came, sat down, and then I was like, I was just, and I happened to be looking when this happened, and
Yeah,
then I looked at her, and I looked at Norma, and I was like, oh man, Norma looks so uncomfortable right now, and in my head, I was like, man,
Is that where it was?
I
hmm
messed up Norma so bad, like
It's because
where
it
it's
was
like,
like it's funny because it wasn't
Oh, because you didn't even know how to respond to people.
exactly.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, you
dang.
So
didn't
it
you
was
didn't catch that?
Well,
it
no,
was
yeah.
crazy. It was
All
crazy
late.
because everything was good. Like there
Yeah.
was
No,
nothing I had
yeah.
to worry
No,
about.
Nothing.
There
no, I
was like
see
we
that.
were
Yeah.
really good.
We're at church.
But you're already thinking like, oh my goodness, he's gonna totally come
Yeah.
and he's gonna get mad. Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da.
Yeah.
Because you didn't. I mean, meth or no meth, some guys are just like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So Norman is kind of like, I don't know if it's the meth or if it's not the
No,
meth.
and at that time, I think we're maybe a couple of months into
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
That's
6-7 months.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
but
it happened, and
yeah.
I looked at her. I
Dang.
was like, man, she looks a little like concerned about how she's sitting, and I saw her slowly moving away, and it
I was.
Wow.
and once Janet came and sat next to
Yeah, I
Israel,
felt better.
like she felt like I
Yeah.
could, and it's funny
Yeah.
because I could tell.
Yeah.
I would
And
have never been able to tell that.
Well,
Nope.
I mean, if you ever
But
if you ever have a woman
Nick would
that
have
loves
gone to
you
go
as much
sit
as
next
Norma
to-
does,
next
well,
to
you
Israel.
probably would, you know.
Janet, scoot over. Let me and Israel sit next to each other.
Yeah. No, so at the end, I was like, man, I feel bad because I know that was part of what I've created.
Yeah.
Like, what she couldn't sit next to anybody. Like, again, she couldn't sit in front of a guy. All I wanted her to be is right next to me and like looking down, and that's all. And
That's
even
Yeah.
then,
I wouldn't do eye contact. So
and
there's
even
times where if I'm speaking to a man and it still kind of happens, I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just,
yeah,
that's just
it's
our
it's
process
things that are
stuff.
we're working on through
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
therapy, through church, through our community,
So Jesus.
through Jesus. You know, and we're working on it. You know,
Yeah.
we had to
Mm.
learn how to be. I had to learn how to be sober with her,
Yes.
as like I needed to show
Like,
her
be here,
be
huh?
here.
Be
Yeah,
present.
I
You're like,
lost.
what?
I get really sad about this story that I always say, but I know we're going off, and people at on the podcast and watching us on YouTube. We're going off, beyond our time.
I know. I'm
Listen,
so
y'all
sorry.
listen to stuff that's like 4 hours long, so I don't even want y'all to start.
What's 4
Learn
hours
something.
long?
There's a lot of podcasts out there that are 4 hours long.
Mm.
They're crazy.
I know one that's 5.5 hours.
Ooh,
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. She's doing the small. Um, I always say it. I always say it, and I had to learn how to be a dad to Emmett.
Mm.
Once I got out of the drugs, I didn't know how to play with him. I didn't
Aw.
I would sit next to him and I would just watch him play. And if y'all know Emmett, he's like always like he could play by himself like throughout
Mhm.
the day. You know, he'll grab a napkin and a cup and he'll make a full story on a napkin and a cup. You know,
Mhm.
yeah, dude, like his
Yeah.
imagination is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I
Thank
would just
God.
sit there and I would want to
Mhm.
like join, and I didn't know how. And I was like, and I would look at Norma and be like, and she'll just start, just talk to him. And I was like, I don't know how. I don't know how to talk to my son. To I don't know how to get close to him.
Yeah.
And that hurts me because like by now he's, like 5 years old and I
Yeah.
don't know how to talk to him, and that always hurts me the most, like not being able to know what my son liked, not being able to know what he wanted to play. It was so difficult for me to just learn his ways.
Mm.
And it always breaks me every time I think about that like as a dad, I didn't know what my son liked,
Mm.
and that I was like, nope, never again. And I know God has like, dude, Emmett does not remember a thing when I was on
Yeah.
drugs.
No, that's
That's a
another.
miracle
Yeah.
itself.
Jesus really truly redeems, man.
Like really itself. You got something on your eye. Like,
I know it's probably the flirt.
yeah. So it's like
No, you got like
It's
it's
still
still there, dude.
right here. Can't see it.
Yeah.
It's,
So I
it's
mean,
this.
and that was like that's just one of the little examples of how like I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know how to be Eder. I didn't know how to be myself. So like
Mm.
me being me now, like this is who I was meant to be, happy and enjoy life, and I was, you know, pushing it away.
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day,
Jesus.
this story is about God. This
Yeah.
story is about how God did it. he did it with our family,
He
can
could
do
do
it
it with
with
anybody.
your family.
Amen.
He
Yeah.
can do it with anyone,
Yes.
including you, Nick.
Bam.
I believe in science.
I'm gonna end this on a high note.
Yeah.
So all through that
No
time, I
pun
told
intended.
you, I told you that
That was good.
the picture I kept
That was aight.
seeing about us and the tree and everything that kept showing up and kept popping up in my head, and that was all God. That first year, Christmas, we took a picture, and I didn't see it till after. And when I saw it, that was the same picture I had seen all throughout our thing. And I was like, this is God.
That was on
This
Christmas Day.
is God. Christmas
This
Day.
day.
And I was like, Jesus, you are a believer. I am never going back to where I was. And that had me from day one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talk about Christmas story.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. So
yeah.
are
This is
they?
truly a
So
Christmas
Raquel,
trip.
like recap, beautiful story. Like, is it okay for Eder to want to break that chain of like what he wants his Christmas
I
to
think
be
we
like?
all understand what he means by it, Nick. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And good night to all. Nick just likes to get the last word, y'all, but he ain't getting it here. All right, he ain't getting it here.
Yeah, guys. I mean,
Oh my God.
we love you guys.
Love
Thank
you
for
guys.
And
giving
you go to
us-
school now.
Oh, yes. We
Yeah.
go to school.
You go to school.
I go
Like,
to
I mean,
school, trying to learn. Trying to
Story's
learn.
not over yet.
No, the
Story's not
stories
over.
continue.
We're
the
at
story's
church.
never over.
We get up to church in the morning now.
Man.
And Kevin goes too.
And Kevin goes
Kevin.
Kevin goes to church now, and it's it's amazing.
My
and
sister. Everybody goes
They're
now.
still trying to get me.
What do you mean? You go too.
What do you mean? He doesn't know Jesus.
he believes in science. Remember? No, but
You don't believe in no science.
thank
believe
you.
in Jesus.
Thank you. If you stay throughout this whole podcast, we thank you.
Thank
And
you.
if you didn't,
Thank you for your
hey,
time.
It's okay. We still love you guys.
Jesus loves
That's
you.
right.
Let us know if you like. Obviously, this was beautiful. Like, I'm like, you like this type of storytelling of just like us talking.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, let us know if you guys enjoyed this.
We're all
and-
storytellers. We all got a story to tell. We
Yeah.
want to hear yours. Let us know
Yes.
yours.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you guys for letting us do this on the
Thank
is
you
on
guys.
the
awesome.
podcast.
Yes.
Thank you, and
Yeah.
love you, Angel.
Remember,
Yeah.
we'll have those numbers. It'll be linked in like the description. for
Link in
Yes.
the
YouTube and
description.
stuff
Yeah,
to get help.
and Angel
Yes.
is gonna work really hard.
Always
to
look
put
for
them on
help.
here.
You matter.
Yeah, you
Thank
guys matter.
you.
We love you
Jesus
guys.
died for
Love
you
you
on the
guys.
cross.
Jesus loves you. Have a great day.
FloVation out.